Chapter 320. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Han Chushue's face turned slightly red. She chose to remain silent as if she didn't hear anything. Ling Ying was unhappy. F***ck. It's fine if you're secretly flirting with Han Chushue. But you're definitely unhappy in front of her. Luckily, she was in a good mood. This was because Lin Xian had helped her advance her dark element. She didn't ask where Lin Xian got this thing. Maybe it was from Linglong Shui? If it was Linglong Shui, with her terrifying advancement in the great virtual realm, the world that she could see was too vast. The things that she could possess were things that they had never seen before, or even heard of before. This was also normal. Then, wasn't the relationship between Lin Xian and Linglong Shui too good? Even a powerhouse like Linglong Shui would come to see Lin Xian's performance. Please get lost. Ling Ying said silently. Little Chushue, tell me, are you from my family? Lin Xian laughed. Han Chushue said faintly, we're almost at the 10,000 spider cave. Obviously, she didn't know how to answer Lin Xian's question and chose to avoid it. The 10,000 spider cave was also called the 10,000 spider poison cave. Once you're poisoned, use this serum directly. It'll make us immune to all the poison from the poisonous spiders in the 10,000 spider cave for about an hour. Ling Ying threw a syringe to Lin Xian and Han Chushue each. Give us a few more and we won't have to worry about being poisoned, right? Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. Wow, you're so smart. Lin Xian. Of course, he could tell that Ling Ying was dissing him. Han Chushue said, normally, the second time the serum is used, the effect will be minimal. It might even lose its anti-poison effect unless you wait for a long time. But even so, the anti-poison effect will be greatly reduced. Moreover, the 10,000 spider cave isn't just dangerous with the terrifying poison. There are all kinds of terrifying poisonous spiders. If you're not careful, your entire body will be pierced. The poison will spread from the wound and even corrode the internal organs of the body. It's very painful before you die. Ling Ying added. If it's so dangerous, why are there so many people going to the 10,000 spider cave? And why are we going there? Lin Xian asked curiously. There were plenty of places to farm monsters. The entire demonic beast territory was filled with them, and they just so happened to be coming to this place. The 10,000 spider cave is like deep cold valley. Because there are treasures that attract martial artists here. What? Ling Ying said, as far as I know, the 10,000 spider cave is the largest demonic beast territory in a radius of dozens of kilometers. It has a sophisticated organization, rules, and is led by the Spider Emperor. It has collected a lot of treasures, and it might even have been left behind by martial artists when they were alive. Most importantly, there is a kind of spiritual treasure in the 10,000 spider cave. What kind of spiritual treasure? Lin Xian asked curiously. It's a kind of poisonous grass. No, to be precise, it's a poisonous spiritual herb. Have you heard of the Poison Master? Lin Xian shook his head. The famous Poison Master. 30 years ago, when countless cities had yet to fall, he once again accidentally swallowed a poisonous grass called the Abyss Yama Spirit. But for some special reason, he didn't die from the poison. From then on, he mastered the power of hundreds of poisons and was almost invincible in the same realm. Lin Xian, you're saying that the Abyss Yama Spirit poisonous grass is in the 10,000 spider cave? Lin Xian asked. That's right. 3 months ago, 12 martial artists entered the 10,000 spider cave. The strongest among them was even at the Thunder Tribulation stage. In the end, only 2 of them survived. The others all died at the hands of the Spider Emperor. The 2 of them obtained Abyss Yama Spirit, but unfortunately, they couldn't withstand the poison and died after consuming half of it. Lin Xian, the news about the 10,000 spider cave was also spread by them. Lin Xian asked, logically speaking, since they know that the Abyss Yama Spirit is in there, why didn't those martial artists enter? Because they didn't dare. To be precise, they didn't dare to consume the Abyss Yama Spirit. They were already martial artists, so they didn't want to risk their lives to obtain this kind of poison. Moreover, to be honest, Having this kind of poison isn't necessarily a good thing. But still, many people want it. Because they aren't strong, they want to use this simple method to become stronger, even if it's very dangerous. Lin Xian suddenly understood. It was also because of this that so many people were willing to take the risk. Because he knew that 2 people were poisoned to death, the Honorable Poison Master issued a statement saying that anyone who wanted to obtain this kind of poison like him could bring the Abyss Yama spirit to him. He would help them obtain the poison and survive. He was also willing to nurture them. They wanted to bring the poison lineage to greater heights. That's why so many people formed groups to go to the 10,000 Spider Cave. Ling Ying continued. Then you also want to obtain this kind of power? Lin Xian asked in surprise. How should I put it? If they can survive, no one wouldn't want it. Poison is actually the same as ice. It's a special attribute power, but it's even more special. Ice is a mutation of water, and it might even be born with it. But poison doesn't die. If you master poison, you might even surpass the dark attribute because it's very terrifying. There are definitely many attributes in this world that people aren't familiar with that can be discovered. They won't be born with it. Poison is just one of them. Damn it, when you master the poison attribute, I won't even touch you. Lin Xian said in disdain. Ling Ying, if you dare to touch me, I'll kill you. Lin Xian. Then Ling Ying said faintly, if you master the poison attribute, you won't be surrounded by poison. Instead, it will be mixed with other attributes. It will only be released when you release your spiritual power. And it's very, very strong. It's even more deadly than the thunder attribute. I won't allow it. If Ling Ying obtained the poison attribute, he would have a grudge when he thought about doing it in the future. This girl was full of poison, who would want to touch her? You're too conservative. Ling Ying said helplessly. Search for the Honorable Poison Master on your phone. There will be a video of him becoming famous. You can express your opinion after watching it. Lin Xian hesitated for a moment and then looked at the video. The video was very simple. A middle-aged man was surrounded by more than 20 people. As for his realm, it wasn't clear. Those 20 people didn't even get close to him before they all fell to the ground. This is a video of him when he was in the Thunder Tribulation realm. Those 20 or so people were from the Evil Fiend Hall. This video was taken by a friend of the Poison Master. Their goal was very simple. They wanted to use this opportunity to let the world know the power of the poison attribute. They did it. As for the 20 or so members of the Evil Fiend Hall, it has been confirmed that 5 of them were stronger than the Poison Master at that time. After Lin Xian watched it, it really did break his understanding. Speaking of which, will my skin become as disgusting as a toad's? Ling Ying. No, you're thinking too much. It's just an attribute. Just put it in the same category as other attributes. Why do you have such a big prejudice against the poison attribute? Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and said, in the TV series, those people who obtained the poison technique were all ugly and disgusting. Chapter 321. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Ling Ying really laughed out loud. Big brother, that's a TV show, do you understand? Sigh, children who are poisoned by TV shows. Ling Ying sighed secretly. Lin Xian. All right. He was indeed poisoned by the appearance of those who practice poison in TV shows. In the video, the Poison Master's appearance was no different from an ordinary person. There wasn't even any poisonous gas. He just fell down inexplicably. Of course, the grass beside him withered instantly and died. Moreover, the reason why the Poison Master is so famous is because he obtained an attribute even rarer than space and time. Although it's not as powerful as the other two, there are definitely fewer people who have it. This is also why the poison attribute is so strong. Lin Xian nodded slightly. He was also curious. Silently, without any signs of being released, the person fell down. It was indeed very strong. Moreover, it was extremely rare. What about this attribute? I also want to try and see if I can get this attribute. Lin Xian said. Chuxue, look, this is a man. Men are all like this. It's like looking at a beauty. If a beauty is ugly, he won't like her. Once she's a beauty like you, he'll say he likes her. Heh. Lin Xian scratched his head awkwardly. That's not what I meant. I just thought that the poison attribute would make me extremely ugly, and others wouldn't dare to approach me. So, if you don't understand something, please don't express your opinion. Thank you, Lin Xian. Lin Xian. He swore that when he returned home, he would definitely make this girl cry and apologize. Little Chuxue, if you were given a choice, would you also want to get the poison attribute? Han Chuxue nodded almost without hesitation. If I can double my strength, why wouldn't I do it? Not to mention the poison attribute, even if a martial artist obtained the weakest attribute, it would still be a great boost to their strength. For example, Ling Ying might be powerful if she only had the wind attribute, but if she added the darkness attribute, then she would be even more powerful. It's strange, Lin Xian said. Why? Han Chuxue asked curiously. She didn't talk that much, but she knew a lot when it came to Lin Xian. Normally, she would be too lazy to ask anything because she wasn't curious. However, she was curious about Lin Xian's words. Maybe it was because he cared. Think about it, it makes sense for a cold goddess like you to use the ice element, but you chose to use poison instead. It doesn't match your temperament. Lin Xian said. Han Chuxue didn't know what to say. You're crazy, Ling Ying muttered. Just you wait. Lin Xian said fiercely. Ling Ying. God summoning technique, great aunt. The car continued to move, and Lin Xian found a chance to look at the sword skill he got from Han Chuxue, Extreme Thunder Sky Flash. Extreme Thunder Sky Flash. Grade. Earth Rank 8 Star Cost. 1000 Thunder Attribute Sword Skill. A martial skill modified from a powerful formation. After being released, a Thunder Sword formation will be formed on the spot. Effect. When the sword formation is released, a sword formation will be formed on the spot. When the sword formation is released, a sword formation will be formed on the spot. When the sword formation is released, a sword formation will be formed on the spot within a 20-meter radius. When the sword formation is formed, a sword formation will be formed every second within a 20-meter radius. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. This Extreme Thunder Sky Flash was actually a sword skill similar to a formation. It was actually very simple. It formed a thunder sword formation on the spot, and the moment the sword formation was formed, a burst of power would explode and cause damage. The damage was the same as the 5 Thunder Celestial Phenomenon, but it was stronger in some aspects because after the sword formation was formed, it could last for 20 seconds. Every second, there would be lightning damage of the same level. In other words, people trapped in the sword formation wouldn't be able to survive. This Extreme Lightning Heaven Flash Break was a powerful martial technique. But the spiritual energy cost was a little high. But it was normal. Lin Xian was now getting more and more skills, and their grades were getting higher and higher. Under normal circumstances, he would be happy, and of course, he was happy. But now he was facing a very awkward situation. His spiritual energy value was not enough. Releasing the 5 Thunder Celestial Phenomenon was still okay, but releasing the Extreme Thunder Sky Flash directly consumed 1/3 of his spiritual energy value. What was even more exaggerated was that the most powerful myriad bait Heavenly Prison was directly empty. Excuse me, is there any way to increase our spiritual energy value? Lin Xian asked curiously. What's yours now? Ling Ying asked. Around 3,000. 9 stars Arcane Body Realm. 3,000. That's already far higher than ordinary martial artists. Ling Ying said with slight surprise. Hi. Of course. Spiritual energy value and spiritual energy value are closely related, which means that your spiritual energy value is quite strong. Lin Xian released his eye of spiritual insight. Ling Ying was already at 2 stars Arcane Body Realm, and her spiritual energy value was 4,500. This was acceptable, after all, there was a big gap between them. Han Chuxue was at 9 stars Arcane Body Realm, and her spiritual energy value was 2,910. Although it was slightly lower than his, it was still higher than ordinary people. Then how do I increase it? It's difficult. Find a spiritual treasure that can increase one's spiritual energy value and absorb it or refine it. In other words, the spiritual energy value is determined from birth, according to the strength of the martial artist's spiritual energy value. Ling Ying said, "Is that the only way?" Also, there are some cultivation techniques that can increase one's spiritual energy value. Remember, it's a cultivation technique and not a martial technique. Martial techniques can't be increased, and there are no such martial techniques. However, those cultivation techniques are usually equivalent to support. They can increase one's basic attributes, but they don't have any combat ability. However, I don't know where to find them. Ling Ying said with a shrug of her shoulders. She had been with Lin Xian for a long time, and she had even gotten used to Lin Xian's many small movements. She was also very familiar with this shrug of her shoulders. After saying that, she peeled a lollipop and put it in her mouth. Lin Xian muttered to himself for a moment. In other words, it was basically the same as saying that there was no other way. No, when the time came, he would have to ask Ling Long Shui if she had such a treasure. It was really unbearable to have such a low spiritual energy value. In the past, Lin Xian couldn't feel it, but as each and every one of his martial techniques became more powerful, he could feel it. Next to them, 2 cars sped past them. They seemed to be from a certain mercenary group, and their destination was naturally the 10,000 Spider Cave. They went to the 10,000 Spider Cave to level up. For Han Chushue, they could also level up at the same time. Secondly, they wanted to see if they could obtain the Abyssal Dark Spirit. It was said that there was only one Abyssal Dark Spirit. They obtained it and ate it, but they died. However, who knew if there were more Abyssal Dark Spirits in the deeper parts of the cave? "What are you thinking about?" Ling Ying asked curiously when she saw Lin Xian in deep thought through the front view mirror. "I'm thinking about whether a single Abyssal Dark Spirit can really give a martial artist the poison attribute for life. Isn't it a little too incredible?" Chapter 322. Lin Xian's question stumped Ling Ying. It was true that many heaven and earth spirit objects had unimaginable effects, which was normal. But generally speaking, for a plant that could allow a person to obtain the poison attribute for a lifetime, the place where it grew would probably be barren and desolate, with no signs of life at all. Because this was the only way to explain the horror of this poisonous plant. But no, the 2 survivors were only at the high level of mysterious heaven realm. They could even pick the Deep Hell Yama. This was not normal. The Deep Hell Yama's spiritual power is not strong? How else can it be explained? Ling Ying asked in surprise. Han Chushue said, "Or rather, it's not the Deep Hell Yama. I suddenly thought of something. The poison element was extremely rare. There were probably less than 100 people on planet Water Blue who had the poison element. They all obtained the poison element for various reasons. The more it was like this, the more poison element experts would want fewer people to obtain the poison element. That way, they would be stronger and more mysterious. Why did the poison master want to develop poison element experts? This is not good for him. At the same time, he has made a lot of enemies. He doesn't want such a situation to happen. It doesn't make sense. Unless he really wants to do something for the continent. He wants these people who want to obtain the poison attribute to die. He doesn't even need to do anything. He wants to help them obtain the poison attribute because the Deep Hell Yama is too rare and difficult to obtain. So he doesn't need to take responsibility for his words. Lin Xian said. He didn't know why he had inexplicably brought up this point. Hey, aren't you two thinking too fast? Ling Ying said. Let's see. Maybe the Deep Hell Yama that the Poison Master obtained is many years old. Its medicinal power is completely different, and the 10,000 Spider Cave is just a young Deep Hell Yama. Lin Xian said. Director Jiang, are you sure that the person in the car is Lin Xian? In one of the cars that had just passed them, the driver respectfully asked a middle-aged man in a suit sitting behind him. He was smoking a cigar. It's him. He should also be going to the 10,000 Spider Cave. He asked the brothers to wait for him there. The man licked his lips. And the famous Ling Ying and Han Chushue of Tianhua City. Once it's done, the two of them will be our brothers' playthings. Zhang's eyes flashed with viciousness. His eldest and second sons were both dead. Zhang Tianhao had been severely injured by Lin Xian. He had gone to seek revenge, but there had been no news of him. He knew that Lin Xian must have done it. However, he had no idea how his eldest son, Jiang Tianyu, had died. He had announced to the public that Jiang Tianyu was a member of the Evil Fiend Hall and had been killed. However, he and Lin Xian were in the same line of work, so Jiang Zun also claimed that Lin Xian was the culprit. On the surface, he was remorseful, meaning that he didn't manage his son well. Since he was a member of the Evil Fiend Temple, he deserved to die. However, he was also a member of the Evil Fiend Temple and even the third in command of the Evil Fiend Temple in Tianhua City. He would definitely avenge his son's death. He had been quiet these days because he wanted to find the right time to kill Lin Xian and avenge his son. The time had come, Deep Cold Valley. However, there was a mysterious woman by his side that time. Based on his experience, this woman was not simple, so he gave up. Because this matter was rarely exposed, it was possible that he and his entire Jiang family would be gone. He also knew that there were many pairs of eyes secretly watching the Jiang family, but this time, he had found an opportunity. Han Chushue, Ling Ying is the daughter of Chengdu's Han family and Ling family. He might be afraid of these two families, but this is the demonic beast domain. In the demonic beast domain, whether you are alive or dead won't be discovered. Jiang Zun sneered. This time, he had mobilized no less than 10 experts from the Evil Fiend Temple. It might not be the best idea to make a move halfway. He knew that Lin Xian had the space attribute, but in the 10,000 Spider Cave, there was only so much space. Lin Xian's strength was not strong. Even if he escaped temporarily, he would still stay in the 10,000 Spider Cave and catch a turtle in a jar. If worse came to worst, he would leave some people to guard the entrance of the 10,000 Spider Cave. In short, he had to take out his greatest confidence to avenge his son. He had to succeed in one go. As for the Jiang family, Lin Xian was completely unguarded. This was because Jiang Zun was simply too good. He really didn't show any signs of abnormality. "We're here. Park the car here." Han Chushue braked slowly and parked the car in an open space. Then, the three of them walked out of the car one after another. There were no less than 15 cars parked in the vicinity. Of course, their cars were basically the same as the armored vehicles used by the mercenaries. Their defense was quite strong. The car was parked here. As for whether the car would still be there after they came out, or whether it would be destroyed by the demonic beasts, that would depend on fate. Generally speaking, the armored vehicles of the mercenaries didn't have to worry about this because their defense was very strong. However, Han Chushue's sports car might need to be taken care of. The surrounding area was barren. Of course, it wasn't because humans were weeding, but because there was a very weak poisonous gas in the surrounding air. This poisonous gas made it impossible for any life forms to survive in this place. Otherwise, without the interference of humans, the outside would definitely be overgrown with weeds. However, this little bit of poison wasn't too harmful to martial artists. Even ordinary people could withstand it. It was just that they couldn't stay here for too long. This poison wasn't released by any poisonous grass. It was because this was the 10,000 Spider Cave. The various poisonous spiders here were highly toxic. They had been here for several years. Over time, it was normal for the surrounding area to be poisonous. In front of them, there was a cliff about 100 meters high. This mountain range was quite large. There were many caves under the cliff. These caves were naturally dug by various poisonous spiders because the mountain in front of them was the 10,000 Spider Cave. No one knew how big it was because there weren't many martial artists who rushed in before, let alone reaching the end. Even the person who obtained the Abyssal Yama spirit had no choice but to run out before reaching the end. This was the territory of the poisonous spiders, their home. One could imagine how dangerous it was inside. However, it seemed that many martial artists had already entered. At least the first part of the journey should be relatively safe. What I know about the 10,000 Spider Cave is that other than this mountain, it might extend underground. As long as you feel that you are going down, it means that you are going deeper. Ling Ying said to the two of them. So many caves are connected? Lin Xian asked in surprise. Normally, they are connected. However, it's unknown if you go deeper. Let's go in. After that, the three of them walked in. After they walked in, several figures slowly walked out from the shadows behind them and followed them. Chapter 323. Director Jiang, should we make a move? A man asked. No rush. Let's follow them first. We'll make a move when they're far enough in. Otherwise, Lin Xian will be able to exit the 10,000 Spiders Cave with a casual use of his spatial powers, Jiang Zun said coldly. They had to succeed in this operation. They absolutely could not let their guard down just because their side was stronger and directly attack. Haste makes waste. It didn't matter if it was an hour earlier or later. As a person who wanted revenge, if he was anxious himself, that was the worst thing that could happen. This was the difference between the older generation and the younger generation. Lin Xian and the others were not wary at all. They were mostly wary of the evil fiend shrine. However, they had not met anyone yet, so they had nothing to worry about. After entering the cave, the entire cave gave off a gloomy, dark, and oppressive feeling. It was already night outside, not to mention how dark it was inside. The three of them took out their phones and turned on their flashlights. A crisp sound came from the cave. Han Chushue and Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian lowered his head silently. F***CK. Don't blame me. It drilled into the bottom of my shoe. Lin Xian raised his foot. Under his foot was the corpse of a black spider the size of a girl's palm. It was bleeding green blood and looked extremely scary. Such a large spider could scare a man to tears, let alone a girl. However, Ling Ying and Han Chushue were very calm. This was also something that Lin Xian admired about them. Han Chushue was not Lin Xian, but Ling Ying had seen spiders several meters long. She was not afraid. This also depended on the person. If it were Yi Yi and Lu Yufan, the spider that Lin Xian killed under his foot would scare them. However, this was also why they were so cute. I heard that spiders are high in protein. Remove the head and fry it until it's golden brown. Why don't we bring some back and barbecue them? Lin Xian teased the two sisters. Disgusting. Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian, while Han Chushue calmly looked around with her flashlight. There's no need to worry about the front. It's all been walked by martial artists. Let's go straight in. Be careful of the small spiders, they are also highly poisonous. The venom of these small spiders could kill an ordinary person within a few hours. However, for cultivators at the Mysterious Body and Mysterious Heaven realm, these small spiders couldn't even be considered as demonic beasts. They could only be considered as delicate small animals. The venom of these small animals would at most cause them pain, but it wouldn't be fatal. However, no one wanted to be bitten by these disgusting things. There were many corpses of giant venomous spiders nearby. Some of them were even dripping with green blood. Those were the corpses of the martial artists in front of them. It was a good thing that someone was opening the way for them. Behind him, two people came over with professional flashlights. Hey, the three in front, do you want to travel together? At least we can take care of each other. One of the men yelled. Both of them were from the evil fiend hall. No need, Lin Xian said without any trace of politeness. He kept one thing in mind. Apart from his friends, he shouldn't trust anyone unless it was a special situation. No, sometimes he shouldn't even trust his friends. He was definitely the safest. However, if he needed to travel with many people, it would be a different situation. Right now, he didn't need anyone else. On the contrary, it would be even more dangerous if there were more outsiders. Then we won't disturb you. Then, the two of them walked in front of the three. They naturally hoped that Lin Xian and the other two would agree to travel together. This way, they would be able to know their location at any time. However, if they didn't agree, they wouldn't force them. Instead, it would attract suspicion. Following behind them was naturally inappropriate. They only needed to walk in front and maintain a certain distance at all times. Lin Xian subconsciously released his eye of cave spirit at their backs. What made him experience was that he couldn't see through the cultivation of these two seemingly ordinary men. In other words, these two people were at least at the mysterious Heaven Realm 5-star. Two people at the mysterious Heaven Realm 5-star wanted to travel together with them? Was that possible? Perhaps it was because they didn't know what cultivation realm the three of them were at. It was normal to be more careful in this kind of place. However, this was also not normal. In this kind of place, under normal circumstances, without the Spider Emperor, two mysterious Heaven Realm 5-star cultivators would be enough. Instead, they had to worry about others following them. If they found something good, they would snatch it from them or leak it out. Lin Xian and the other two dared to come here even when Ling Ying was at the mysterious Heaven Realm 2-star. What about them? This was actually not normal. Lin Xian said to them, "Let's take a detour in front. Take the other path." The two girls nodded slightly. This was Lin Xian's suspicion. If they continued forward, wouldn't they be challenging their own intelligence? When the two in front saw that the three behind them had taken a detour, they also frowned. What did you find? Impossible. Perhaps they wanted to take that path from the beginning. Don't worry, this place is connected at least underground. Let's continue forward. Branch leader Jiang will arrange for the others. If we continue to follow, we will be suspicious. They would never have thought that Lin Xian was already suspicious. They would never have thought that Lin Xian would have such a heaven-defying technique like the Eye of Cave Spirit. The Eye of Cave Spirit might not have any offensive abilities, but if Lin Xian was given a choice, he would even be willing to exchange the Heaven-tier martial skill, Myriad Bait's Heavenly Prison, for this martial skill because it was unique in this world. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. They hadn't seen a single demonic beast for half an hour. After 30 minutes of hurrying, they should be quite deep in. There's movement in front. In this kind of environment, even the sound of a needle dropping would produce an echo. As a mysterious body realm cultivator, a mysterious heaven realm cultivator would be able to hear it clearly as long as they concentrated, let alone such a noisy noise in front of them. Two more people came from behind. Lin Xian had been vigilant and felt that something was wrong. They released the Eye of Cave Spirit. Great. Two more mysterious Heaven Realm 4-star cultivators. He couldn't detect them. They didn't reveal any flaws and gave the impression that they had heard the noise in front of them. They quickened their pace and overtook Lin Xian's group. Ling Ying, is it normal for many mysterious Heaven Realm 4-star cultivators to appear here? Lin Xian asked. It's normal. Not to mention mysterious Heaven Realm, even Lightning Tribulation Realm cultivators are normal. Basically, most of them are mysterious body realm cultivators, followed by mysterious heaven realm cultivators. What's wrong? Nothing, I'm just asking. Lin Xian shook his head. Then, the three of them quickened their pace and walked over. There was a lot of light ahead because there were also a lot of people ahead. It was as if all the people from before were gathered here and couldn't move forward. When Lin Xian walked over, he understood why. Chapter 324. There was a huge space in front of them. How should they describe it? The martial artists who entered from all the caves, or from all the branches, would come out from the dozens of caves here. In front of the cave entrance was a stone platform about 5 meters wide and over 100 meters long, surrounding the edge. It was as if the middle of a mountain had been hollowed out. Below them was 30 meters of ground, and 100 meters in front of them were dozens of caves that led further ahead. They were trapped here. More accurately, they were not trapped here, but they did not dare to move forward. Taking a few steps forward would cause them to fall. Below them was a ghastly sight. Densely packed poisonous spiders, some small and some large, seemed to be waiting for them to jump down. What was even more exaggerated was that there were many eggs below, which should be the eggs of these poisonous spiders. It was obvious that if they went down, even if they were not bitten to death by the poisonous spiders, they would most likely be poisoned to death. Over the years, the poison had accumulated to an unknown degree, so walking down from below was definitely the most stupid thing to do. However, there should be some caves below for these poisonous spiders to go out. No, there wasn't. These poisonous spiders directly climbed up the walls. They were also extremely fast. These martial artists continuously beat down these poisonous spiders that climbed up. There was only one way to get to the caves ahead, and that was through the spider silk in front of them. More accurately, it was not just one strand, but many strands of white spider silk that were about a few centimeters thick. There was no need to worry about its toughness, but there were 3 reasons why no one dared to go up. First, the stickiness of the spider silk made it difficult for them to move. Second, the spider silk was highly poisonous. Third, if they were not careful and fell down, their lives would basically be over if their realm was not high enough. Some people had already gone over, but that was because their realms were higher. The group of arcane body realm martial artists who were left behind did not know what to do. A 2-meter-long giant black spider quickly climbed up from below Lin Xian's feet. Dark venomous spider, level 21, realm. Arcane body realm 1 star, attribute none, a type of giant venomous spider that lives in the darkness. It is extremely fast and poisonous, and its entire body is covered in poison. At the same time, it has very strong close combat abilities. Skill, Cross of Death. 2 front pincers form a cross, releasing a powerful force. Disorienting sound wave. Releases an undetectable infrasound wave, dealing damage to the target and causing the target to become dizzy. This was the Dark Venom Spider's ability. Attack, agility, and other attributes will not be written in detail. It had 2 skills. As for the Silk Spit ability, it was an instinct. Heavenly Thunder Flash. Lin Xian condensed a ball of Heavenly Thunder Flash and blasted it down. Instant kill. Ding. You have killed the arcane body stage demonic beast, Dark Venomous Spider. Experience plus 1900. Lin Xian was at the 9-star arcane body realm and had an Earth rank martial skill. It would be abnormal if this 1-star arcane body realm wasn't instantly defeated by Lin Xian. So, Lin Xian quickly cast Thunder Flash. Like a cannon, Lin Xian killed all the dark venom spiders that crawled up to him. Lin Xian also received a steady stream of EXP. It feels so good. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. Wasn't this brat's martial arts too cool? It was fine if he could cast it from a distance, but why did he keep casting it? Didn't he consume spiritual energy value? And it could even explode. Wouldn't the explosion range be at least 5 meters? Am I an idiot? I could have thrown it down there. Lin Xian suddenly realized something. There were countless spiders down there. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, boom. Then, the area below became a lightning explosion zone. Every Heavenly Thunder Flash consumed 100 spiritual energy value. Lin Xian stopped after casting 20 Heavenly Thunder Flashes and slowly recovered. Leveling up felt good, but he couldn't possibly use up all his spiritual energy value, right? Damn! Leveling up with this martial art in this kind of situation is simply too cool. Ling Ying exclaimed in surprise. So envious. He could just stand up there and shoot. It's all right. The main thing is that it consumes very little. Lin Xian smiled. Of course, it was only a small area. The levels of these spiders were too low. Even though there were many of them, Lin Xian needed more than 50,000 experience points to level up. He had to kill dozens of them to level up to 10 stars of the arcane body realm. These dozens of spiders had to be in the arcane body realm. That wasn't a lot, so it was better to kill those with higher realms. Although everyone was shocked, they didn't think much of it. Because to them, what they wanted to do the most now was to go over. They could go over to the arcane heaven realm, but it was also very dangerous. However, if they fell from the arcane heaven realm, it should be fine as long as they had the serum. Come, I'll bring you over. Lin Xian extended his hand to them. How do we go over? Han Chushue and Ling Ying asked at the same time. Lin Xian grinned and walked to Ling Ying's side. Ling Ying looked at him in surprise. Then, Lin Xian directly carried Ling Ying in a princess carry. What are you doing? In front of so many people, especially Han Chushue, Lin Xian was so intimate with her. Ling Ying's face turned red and she subconsciously began to punch him. Whoosh! Then, Lin Xian spread his royal wings and flew over. Ling Ying was stunned. How could she forget about Lin Xian's air transportation spiritual artifact? Lin Xian had shown it in Deep Cold Valley before. Damn it! Then wouldn't he have to take advantage of Han Chushue later? How despicable! When everyone saw Lin Xian open his air transportation spiritual artifact, they were all shocked and full of jealousy. How could he have an air transportation spiritual artifact at such a young age? Many people even had evil thoughts about Lin Xian. This was normal. Especially in the demonic beast territory, where they could do whatever they wanted. Soon, Lin Xian put Ling Ying down and said, "I'm going to pick up my little Chushue." After saying that, Lin Xian flew away happily. Ling Ying. How annoying. But there was no other way. As for Lin Xian's space attribute and Ling Ying's darkness attribute, it would be foolish for them to perform a 100-meter-long space jump in this place. This was because it would consume too much spiritual energy. At this time or in the future, if anyone had any ill intentions towards them, they would not have much spiritual energy left to fight. Whoosh! Lin Xian landed in front of Han Chushue and stretched out his hand. Han Chushue blushed. "Brother, bring me along." A man walked over. Yeah, bring us along too." Many people in the surroundings quickly gathered around. "I only want to carry girls, thank you." Then, a young lady walked over shyly. "Little brother, I'm a girl." Lin Xian saw this dinosaur and secretly touched his forehead, then pointed at Han Chushue and said, "Then I'll add, I only carry girls of this level." After saying that, Lin Xian directly carried Han Chushue in a princess carry. Ding! Felt Han Chushue's shyness. Scum man value plus 50,000. Ding! Estimated that touching young ladies but is a scum man behavior. Scum man value plus 300000. That's right, the princess carry was supposed to hug her back and joints, but Lin Xian purposely hugged her thighs and even reached up. Chapter 325. As for Han Chushue, she didn't even have time to react before Lin Xian carried her in a princess carry. Of course, she definitely reacted after being carried, but her subconscious reaction wasn't to kick Lin Xian away, break his neck, or freeze Lin Xian. Under normal circumstances, that would be the case, but her subconscious reaction was to hug Lin Xian's neck. It was only when Lin Xian flew up that she realized she was hugging Lin Xian's neck. She subconsciously wanted to let go. "Don't let go, I'm afraid I can't carry you." Lin Xian's voice sounded in her ears. Han Chushue. Why did she want to hit him? Did he say she was fat? Damn it. She seemed to understand why Ling Ying was always driven crazy by Lin Xian. This guy was a little infuriating. But, more than that, she was shy. Ding. Feeling Han Chushue's shyness. Scumbag value plus 50,000. Ding. Han Chushue's favorability towards you plus 5. Lin Xian. He actually forgot to look at Han Chushue's favorability. Then he took a look. 60. What kind of concept was 60 favorable impression points? Lin Xian had been with Ling Ying for so long, but her favorability towards Lin Xian was only 78. Lu Yufan's was around 60. As for how much it was now, he wasn't sure. Miao Xiaomiao's was also close to 60. But they all had a premise. Other than being saved by Lin Xian, they had spent a lot of time together. But what about Han Chushue? Lin Xian had only spent time with her until now. They had only officially met before that and nothing else. But her favorability had also reached 60. This was indeed out of Lin Xian's expectations. He thought that for such a cold girl, even if he saved her, it would be good if she had a favorability of 40. However, Lin Xian underestimated how deeply rooted he was in Han Chushue's heart after so many days. There was a saying that went, "Losing something is the most precious." Before this was how Lin Xian treated Han Chushue. Losing her was the most precious thing. At one point, Han Chushue's favorability towards Lin Xian had exceeded 70 points. However, when she found out that he didn't lose her favorability towards him, her favorability towards him even decreased. Lin Xian wasn't sure. He hadn't triggered the confession mission at that time, so he didn't know if his favorability had increased or decreased. But it just proved that this sentence was correct. That's right. You don't think that things are important or precious when they exist, but when they're gone, you'll start to miss them for no reason. You'll start to think that they're the most precious things in your life, but you've lost them. The remaining people looked on with envy and jealousy as Lin Xian carried the beauty to the other side. They couldn't understand how he could carry such a beautiful girl, how he could have such a powerful martial skill, and how he could have a flying spirit tool. The members of the Evil Fiend Hall exchanged glances with each other when they saw this scene, and then they leaped up and stepped on the spider web. Even a Mystic Heaven Realm 1 star could pass through the spider web, not to mention that they weren't just a Mystic Heaven Realm 1 star. Whoosh! Lin Xian landed with Han Chushue. "Can you let go?" Ling Ying looked at the two of them with extreme displeasure. Lin Xian landed on the ground and still didn't let go of Han Chushue. Was she really that soft and fragrant? Why did Lin Xian throw her down when he just carried her over? This was indeed a man. He didn't care too much about what he got, but it was different for what he didn't get. "You still want to get on my bed? Go play Dan." Han Chushue realized something and jumped down from Lin Xian's body. She tidied up her skirt and messy hair on her forehead, then pretended to be calm and looked at the caves in front of her. "Don't think I didn't see where you put your hand just now," Ling Ying whispered to Lin Xian in a low and unhappy voice. "To be honest, it's more perky than yours," Lin Xian said. Bang! Ouch! Lin Xian was kicked down by Ling Ying. A second later, Lin Xian opened his imperial wings and flew up again. "Can you be more gentle?" Lin Xian rubbed his chest. "Get lost." Lin Xian was of course just joking. He understood Ling Ying, but there was no other way. He was used to joking. It was normal for any guy's girlfriend to have such a reaction after hearing Lin Xian's words and seeing this scene. However, Ling Ying was already good enough. She was only using this method to vent the grievances in her heart. After venting, Lin Xian could still do whatever he wanted. She had really given up too much for Han Chushue and even Lin Xian, including her dignity as a girl. Of course, Lin Xian understood that as well. That was why he loved Ling Ying so much. To him, the most important women in his life were Dongfang Shui, Lin Ye, and Ling Ying. In this world, there were only Lin Ye and Ling Ying. As for Lu Yufan, Yi Yi, Miao Xiaomiao, Wang Xintong, and the others, how should he put it? They were also important. If anyone wanted to bully them, Lin Xian would stand up for them. He would even do whatever it took, because they were all his reverse scale. He had never thought about ranking his women, but there were definitely people he cared about more in his heart. Perhaps in the future, they would all be the same, but for now, Lin Ye and Ling Ying were definitely the most important. They had given Lin Xian a different side of him. "Let's go." Ling Ying grabbed Han Chushue's hand and walked into the cave angrily. Lin Xian hurriedly followed, but he turned around to look at the people behind him. He knew them. They were the two Mystic Heaven Stage 5 cultivators who had just passed by him. There was nothing strange about them coming here. In fact, they had directly walked into another cave. However, Lin Xian still had a bad feeling about this. Perhaps it was the fault of the two people who had asked if they were going together. But there was no problem with being vigilant. This was the demonic beast domain. Lin Xian even wondered if Qin Shaotian would do anything to him now that he was in the demonic beast domain. Yes, but it wasn't directed at Lin Xian. At this moment, Qin Shaotian was eating with Wang Chanqian in a Western restaurant. It was just the two of them. That night, Qin Shaotian had gotten Wang Chanqian's contact information. Because Wang Chanqian said that she wanted her ice-controlling technique to be as powerful as Qin Xiaotian's. Qin Xiaotian said that he could teach her. Then, the two of them added each other as friends. Of course, one side had a conspiracy, while the other side had a premeditated plan. Obviously, Qin Xiaotian wasn't in a hurry. He only needed to succeed before the Sky Martial Conference. Spending a few days or even a week to absorb the ice energy of a genius was not a loss for him. The main thing was that this was a special period. He couldn't be exposed, so he had to be more careful than before. Lin Xian was sure that with Qin Xiaotian's temperament, he wouldn't make a move after knowing him for only a day or two. That was why he felt more at ease and came to the demonic beast domain with Ling Ying and the others. As for Lin Ye, before coming, Lin Xian had asked Xiao Runing to accompany Lin Ye. Now, they were at home playing games with Yi Yi and Lu Yufan. They were quite happy. Chapter 326. The two girls held hands and walked in front, using their flashlights to observe the situation in the cave. Lin Xian seemed to have been abandoned, bringing up the rear. I say, is there a need for the two of you to hold hands? Are you here for sightseeing? Lin Xian couldn't stand the two girls in front and couldn't help but say, why do you care? Ling Ying retorted Lin Xian. This was a different girl with a different style. Lu Yufan used to like to rebuke Lin Xian, but ever since she became Lin Xian's girlfriend, she became very obedient. On the other hand, after Ling Ying became Lin Xian's girlfriend, she became even more disobedient. Of course, Lin Xian knew the reason. It was because Ling Ying felt wronged. She only relied on this method to vent the grievances in her heart. Okay, I don't care. Lin Xian smiled. At this time, Han Chushue said, other martial artists have already passed by here, so it might be safe for the time being. However, this place is still connected, so we can't rule out the possibility of other demonic beasts coming here. We still have to be vigilant. Ling Ying glanced at Han Chushue. At this moment, her beautiful eyes were shining with splendor and seriousness. This was the Han Chushue he knew. Lin Xian saw Ling Ying looking at Han Chushue's eyes from the back, which contained deep affection. F***CK. This girl can't really like Han Chushue, right? If Ling Ying knew what Lin Xian was thinking, he would probably give him a kick. However, Lin Xian didn't panic. The harder you kick me today, the louder I'll make you scream in the future. Careful. At this time, Lin Xian suddenly saw a pair of green eyes light up in a dark corner not far away. It wasn't lit up at first, but it suddenly lit up for no reason. It was especially scary. There was no movement at all in the dark corner, and even with their night vision, they couldn't see clearly in this kind of darkness. Because there was no light here. In the outside world, even if it was late at night, even if it was raining heavily, there would still be a little bit of light. With this little bit of light, they could maximize their night vision to the extreme. However, in a place without light, it was a different situation. Whoosh! The green light in the dark rushed towards Han Chushue. Shwa! In the darkness, the light flashed and the figure directly fell to the ground. The giant spider, with its 6 legs, spasms. It was frozen and the next moment. Lin Xian. F***CK. Your reaction speeds is very good. Lin Xian leaned over and gave Han Chushue a thumbs up. Han Chushue blushed at Lin Xian's compliment. Lin Xian says, that reaction speed. Even before he finished speaking, the dark venomous spider had already rushed over, and in such a short time, Han Chushue had directly taken out a spiritual weapon to kill it. Hey, girls are here. Even if you want to praise, can't you use better words? Can you not be so vulgar? Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and didn't say anything else. Then, the three of them continued to walk forward. After another 15 minutes, the sound of intense fighting came from ahead. How big is this place? Lin Xian couldn't stand it anymore. They had been here for almost an hour. Although they had been walking slowly, an hour was still a very long distance. But it seemed like there was no end. We're descending, which means we're going deeper. Since we're going deeper, there's no problem. As for why it's so big, it's because this is a place where thousands of venomous spiders have lived for many years. The dark venomous spider race is even the king of this area. It would be strange if it wasn't big, Ling Ying said. Then, they walked forward. In front of them was a relatively large passage, but it lacked branches. In other words, this should be the only passage. There were no less than 10 cultivators in front of them. The lowest cultivation was Mystic Heaven Realm 1 star, and the highest was Mystic Heaven Realm 4 stars. Lin Xian could see that they were fighting with a group of dark venomous spiders. However, these dark venomous spiders were not very strong. They hadn't even seen a Mystic Heaven Realm cultivator yet. The reason why they hadn't met many dark venomous spiders along the way was because of these people. They had killed their way here. Those two figures just happened to be walking over from behind them. They directly walked past Lin Xian and the others and joined the battle at the front. Something's wrong, Lin Xian said. What's wrong? Why aren't they killing the demonic beasts? There are so many arcane body realm dark venomous spiders. If we're lucky tonight, we have a chance of reaching Mystic Heaven Realm. 10 stars arcane body realm is the lowest. Ling Ying said. Something's wrong with those two, Lin Xian said as he pointed at the two people who had joined the battle. Those two, we've seen them several times. It's probably because the various branches have merged into one. It's normal to see them. Han Chushue said. I'm not talking about that. It's that. They're not looking at you. Ah. Lin Xian finally understood what was wrong. They were all men, and they weren't old. They weren't even 30 years old. They blindly acted as if they didn't have any interactions with Lin Xian's group. They didn't even look at them when they passed by. It was precisely this that made Lin Xian feel that something was wrong. As normal men, why wouldn't they look at Ling Ying and Han Chushue? They didn't strike up a conversation, nothing at all. They didn't even look at them when they passed by. This wasn't a normal man's reaction. Of course, there would definitely be people like this, but that was too rare. But this was just a guess. Hey, tell us. Ling Ying elbowed Lin Xian. I'm not sure. Just be careful. Okay. Then, the three of them walked over. This battle was more like a defensive battle. The dozen of them were constantly fighting here, and the dark venom spiders were constantly rushing out from the front. The surrounding dark venom spiders' corpses had already piled up into a small hill. The green blood even splashed onto others with every step they took. Let's compete to see who can kill more. Lin Xian grinned and looked at them. Tisk. Ling Ying made a tisk sound to express his disdain. In the next second, he rushed forward. Lin Xian and Han Chushue looked at each other in confusion. Then, the two of them followed closely. Blink shadow. Whoosh. In an instant, Lin Xian covered 10 meters. Lightning wrapped around his body as he rushed into the swarm of spiders. Damn. Flash. Flash your sister. 5 thunder celestial phenomenon. Boom. In an instant, more than 10 dark venom spiders within 20 meters were instantly killed. Everyone's jaws dropped. Yes, their realms were higher than Lin Xian's, but they didn't have such awesome martial arts techniques. These were all normal martial artists. Even if they were in the Mystic Heaven realm, they might not have Earth-grade martial arts techniques. Because it was too rare. Chapter 327. Lin Xian's move shocked everyone, but most of them were envious and jealous. If they had powerful martial skills, they would be able to do the same. On the other hand, Ling Ying rushed past Lin Xian. Originally, Ling Ying was in front of Lin Xian, but Lin Xian used Blink to appear in front of her. This made Ling Ying unhappy. You want to compete? I can't beat you in bed, but do you think I can't beat you in this kind of group attack? Schwa, the shadows of the surrounding dozens of dark venomous spiders twisted under the light. That's right, they twisted just like that. In the next instant, all of the dark venomous spiders' bodies twisted. Then, they were all killed in an instant. Everyone. Dark element. It's really domineering. Lin Xian was speechless. This was not a martial skill, but a dark element ability. It was similar to spatial explosion and spatial compression. It was very domineering. First, it twisted the shadows of the target, then the target's body would be twisted along with the shadows, then torn apart and killed. It was the complete opposite. Han Chushue did not seem to admit defeat. Her past self had returned in this kind of situation. She passed by Ling Ying and rushed further away. After passing by many dark venom spiders, Lin Xian thought that she was going to go even further. In the next instant, the area that Han Chushue had passed by froze. In the blink of an eye, the area of dozens of meters was frozen. Then, Han Chushue stopped and waved her spiritual artifact. Ka, all of the ice crystals shattered, and all of the dark venomous spiders turned into pieces. Even their blood was frozen and could not flow out. The three of them made one move each, and the area in front of them was cleared. The group of mysterious Heaven Realm experts behind them were stunned. Damn! This was the difference. No, this was not the difference in strength, but the difference in martial skills, or the difference in attributes. Most of them were of the metal, wood, water, fire, and earth attributes. There were not many of them with the fire attribute. Their realms were high, but they did not have powerful martial skills, nor did they have the ability to kill groups. This was also the difference. I'm little Ling Ying. Look at how good little Chushue is killing monsters. What about you? How bloody? Lin Xian said as he walked past Ling Ying. Ling Ying secretly clenched her fists. She really wanted to silently stretch out her leg and trip Lin Xian when he passed by. The people behind him quickly caught up. They were also very concerned about the appearance of Ling Ying and Han Chushue. Some people knew them, so they didn't come up to talk to them. They knew it was useless, so they could only watch them from afar. And some people really came over to strike up a conversation. This is the reaction of a normal man. Lin Xian glanced at those who didn't approach them. Even if they were conversing, they were more or less sneaking glances at the two girls. As for the two mysterious Heaven Realm experts in the corner, they were also watching, but when they saw Lin Xian looking over, they moved their gazes away at the same time. This might be normal, but when the others saw Lin Xian looking at them, they would not look away. This meant that those two people were indeed abnormal. Perhaps they didn't even realize that it was precisely because they didn't want to have any interaction with Lin Xian and the others and didn't want to reveal any flaws, that became their flaw. Let's go. Ling Ying grabbed Lin Xian's hand and walked forward. He was really annoyed to death by these guys trying to hit on him. Then, the three of them opened up a path in front. After turning a corner, in front of them, including the walls and even the ceiling, were filled with dark venomous spiders. Their levels weren't high, and there weren't even 5 stars arcane body realm. This was normal. They could kill them in an instant. Chushue, take care of them. The people behind followed and subconsciously wanted to fight. Ling Ying said to Han Chushue. Han Chushue stabbed her sword into the ground in front of her. Then, she abruptly spun around, and a terrifying power burst out. Her long dress and beautiful hair fluttered in the wind. Lin Xian subconsciously used his arm to block in front of him. In front of him, a powerful cold energy surged forward like a gust of wind. The entire cave, which was over 10 meters wide and 5 to 6 meters tall, quickly turned into a tunnel of ice and snow. This Han Chushue was only 9 stars arcane body realm. The strength, range, and speed of this cold energy were truly terrifying. No wonder Ling Ying had said that in terms of cold energy, Qin Xiaotian was only fit to carry Han Chushue's shoes. Lin Xian wasn't sure how Han Chushue's control of cold energy was compared to Xiao Runing's, but she was definitely extremely strong. Lin Xian also had the ice attribute, but he felt that compared to Han Chushue, he was just a smelly little brother. This was the true power of frost. The people behind were dumbfounded. This kind of cold energy, this kind of range, even mysterious Heaven Realm cultivators like them didn't dare to take it head-on. There were even some people who felt that this was the demonic beast territory and coveted them. But now, they were all gone. They weren't sure of Han Chushue's cultivation, but they could feel that this was the power of a 9 stars arcane body realm cultivator. But even so, those 1 and 2 stars arcane body realm cultivators didn't have the courage to fight. This martial technique is at least 7 stars earth realm. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. More or less, Han Chushue said, and then walked forward. At the same time, a wave of energy slowly rose from her delicate body. 10 stars arcane body realm. Wow! Lin Xian was very envious. But he wasn't far from 10 stars arcane body realm. This was the benefit of martial techniques and attributes. It was a very direct example. The speed at which one leveled up was different. How could a metal attribute and lightning attribute compare to the leveling speed? The metal attribute increased one's strength and physical defense, and it didn't even have to release energy. But what about the lightning attribute? There was a powerful martial technique that could easily release a big move with a range of tens of meters. It was the same for the ice attribute, and the wind attribute wasn't bad either. That was why this world was indeed unfair. It was destined from birth. Although Han Chushue had stolen so many demonic beasts, no one had any complaints. Their goal here wasn't to level up. Leveling up was just a side benefit. They were all here for the Dark Abyss Devil Spirit. With Han Chushue and the others clearing out the dark venomous spiders so efficiently, they saved a lot of effort. As for experience, they didn't care. Preserving their spiritual power and strength was the most important thing when the time came to fight for the Dark Abyss Devil Spirit. As for Lin Xian and the others, leveling up was the most important thing, and the Dark Abyss Devil Spirit was to be brought along. After walking for about 5 minutes or so, the number of demonic beasts rapidly decreased. For some reason, Lin Xian and the others felt like there was a dividing line. At the same time, several branches appeared in front of them. Let's go! Lin Xian quickened his pace and rushed directly into one of the tunnels. The few people from the Evil Fiend Shrine who were following behind them chased after them, but they were no longer there. Division Leader Jiang, we lost them. One of them hid in a corner and whispered softly, "What's the rush? We're already underground. We're not sure if there are any branches here." Chapter 328. What he didn't know was that when he spoke, there was no one beside him other than his partner. In fact, Ling Ying was right beside him. On the way, Lin Xian told Ling Ying and the others about the news. Because of this, Lin Xian deliberately quickened his pace. The 3 of them walked at the front. It seemed like they had left, but in reality, Lin Xian had asked Ling Ying to use the dark element to secretly approach him and see how he would react. Ling Ying's beautiful eyes lit up after hearing his words. Although Lin Xian wasn't usually very reliable, in this situation he was too reliable. He was so meticulous that Ling Ying felt that he was much better than a girl. She left silently. They didn't even know that their conversation had been overheard. How was it? Lin Xian and Han Chushue were waiting in the cave ahead. When they saw Ling Ying appear beside them, Lin Xian asked, "You were right. They did follow us all the way here. Where did they hear it?" Lin Xian asked. "I vaguely heard that it was Branch Leader Jiang," Ling Ying said. "Branch Leader Jiang. Jiang family." Lin Xian's eyes lit up. If it was the Jiang family, then Lin Xian was sure. The Jiang family had been too quiet since the beginning. This might be the calm before the storm, but to be honest, if the Jiang family didn't appear soon, Lin Xian would have forgotten about them. "Is it the Jiang family from Tianhua City? I remember that you severely injured Jiang Tianhao from the Jiang family. I was there at the time." Ling Ying peeled a lollipop, but it was snatched away by Lin Xian. Ling Ying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian and peeled another one in silence. "Not only that. That guy was discharged from the hospital and came to kill me. I killed him." Ling Ying, no wonder the Jiang clan is looking for you. "Not only that, but I also killed his brother, Jiang Tianyu." "Jiang Tianyu? The one from the Evil Fiend Hall?" Lin Xian nodded. It's obvious that the Jiang family is in cahoots with the Evil Fiend Temple. Not only Zhong Tianyu, that Zhong Tianhao might be one as well. Even those people who came today might be evil fiend temple's people. Since you heard that they were contacting branch leader Jiang, then it must be someone from the Jiang family. So basically, the Jiang family is involved with the evil divine palace, but there is no evidence. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Big brother, you still want evidence? Now that we're trapped here, we might die. Ling Ying really couldn't understand Lin Xian's brain. Lin Xian pondered for a moment before replying, this time, the weakest among them are at least 4 stars of the profound heaven realm. How do you know? Ling Ying asked in surprise. Didn't you all notice the power released by those few people during the battle just now? Lin Xian made up a story. He couldn't possibly tell them that he had the eye of spiritual insight, right? He could tell them, but this ability was too inconceivable. Lin Xian didn't know how to explain it to them, so he didn't bother to tell them. Alright, then what should we do? I might be able to fight 2 or 3 of them, but if there are too many of them, or if there are stronger ones, then there's nothing I can do. Ling Ying was at 2 stars of the arcane body realm, and she was confident that she could fight 2 or 3 5 stars of the arcane body realm. However, Lin Xian and Han Chuxue were both at the arcane body realm. Even a 10 stars arcane body realm martial artist would find it difficult to fight against a profound heaven realm martial artist. Ling Ying knew that Lin Xian could do it, but she also knew how serious Lin Xian's injuries were last time. Han Chuxue could do it too, but one was her limit. After all, this was the difference of a large realm. But we're all geniuses. Lin Xian grinned. You're really shameless, saying that you're a genius. Ling Ying rolled her eyes. Hee hee. Lin Xian scratched his head and said, the evil fiend temple is actually just like that. They only give people a terrifying impression because of their fame, but in reality, most of them aren't much different from ordinary martial artists. As long as Chuxue and I reach the profound heaven realm, with our attributes and many high-grade martial skills, it won't be a problem to fight a few of them. Even if we can't beat them, our dark and spatial attributes can still temporarily run away, but we can't directly leave the 10,000 Spider Cave. The most important thing was that Lin Xian didn't say that he had a trump card in his hands. It was also his confidence. Profound heaven realm? You think it's water? Chuxue just reached the 10 stars arcane body realm and can advance to the profound heaven realm. Without the experience of 20 profound heaven realm demonic beasts, she won't be able to advance. Even if there are many demonic beasts here, with the 2 of you together, 40 profound heaven realm demonic beasts, you won't be able to handle it, big brother. Ling Ying secretly touched his forehead. Lin Xian's words were indeed correct. They were confident that they could fight and win against opponents of the same realm that were several levels higher. But they had to be in the same realm. Lin Xian's lips curled up, then he looked at Han Chuxue. Han Chuxue saw Lin Xian's gaze and subconsciously took a step back. She didn't know why she took a step back, but she felt that it wasn't safe. Chuxue, call me big brother, and I'll let you advance to the profound heaven realm now. Han Chuxue and Ling Ying were stunned. Don't talk nonsense. There are 2 options now. Either we continue to go deeper until they can't find us, or we find a chance to return, but I think the cave entrance should already be guarded by their people. Ling Ying definitely didn't believe that Lin Xian could let Han Chuxue advance to the profound heaven realm. There's a third option. Chuxue and I will both advance to the profound heaven realm. Ling Ying frowned slightly, but she also felt that such an impossible thing was possible for Lin Xian. Before this, she didn't think that there was any medicine in the world that could raise a cultivator's attribute purity by so much. She didn't even believe that there were pills in Xianxia novels. But didn't cultivators have to rely on killing demonic beasts to raise their cultivation? But she also felt that Lin Xian wasn't joking, because the current situation wasn't suitable for joking. To be honest, she was very curious. Chuxue, why don't you call out? Ling Ying said to Han Chuxue with a smile. Han Chuxue's face turned red, but no one could see it in this dark environment. The light had already been extinguished, because it would attract the attention of others. I won't. How could a girl like Han Chuxue know how to call out? You can call out. Lin Xian said with a smile. Ling Ying also nodded, although she was unhappy. She wanted to see if Lin Xian was telling the truth. Then, all right, but I don't have any other meaning. Han Chushue hesitated for a few seconds before saying softly, Understood, understood, understood. Lin Xian didn't need any other meaning, he just felt that it would be super satisfying to make a girl like Han Chushue call out. Good, good, good brother. Han Chushue called out hesitantly. Ding. Detected little sister's shyness. Scum value plus 50,000. Ding. Han Chushue's favorability towards you +1. Lin Xian expressed that he really couldn't understand this girl's thoughts and couldn't guess them. Could her favorability increase just because she was shy? Then wouldn't her favorability explode if he entered? Chapter 329. Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian angrily. Really? This guy is too infuriating. In the past, she would never explode because of a man's words, nor would she have any special emotions because of someone else's words or actions. However, ever since she met Lin Xian, she realized that she had met her nemesis. Are you giving it to me or not? Ling Ying glared at Lin Xian. Please treat me better, thank you. Lin Xian said. Ling Ying. Then Lin Xian said, Ask me when you're about to break through. I'm not giving it to you now. You must be thinking of other big sisters. You must give it to other big sisters. Ling Ying said faintly. Yeah. Ling Ying. I feel like beating someone up. Lin Xian then said, Now, let's continue forward. I need to break through to the arcane body realm 10 stars and then use the heaven starfruit to break through to the arcane heaven realm. That way, with the 3 of us in the arcane heaven realm, we should have no problem fighting 6 or 7 arcane heaven realm 5 stars. How much more do you need? Lin Xian said, Soon, half of the experience. The hardest realm to break through was that realm. The experience required was many times more than the previous realm. However, it just so happened that the starry fruit could allow Lin Xian to directly skip this level. This was their final gamble. Right now, Lin Xian didn't know how many people were surrounding them and how strong they were. However, the weakest of them was around the arcane heaven realm 5 stars. This was bad news. Arcane heaven realm 5 stars, but they couldn't all be arcane heaven realm 5 stars. They could only think of the worst. There were even stronger ones. Even stronger, Lin Xian had the Heaven's Wrath Needle. But they hoped that there wouldn't be too many. As for whether or not he could escape, it was very difficult. This place was already very far away from the outside world. If they went back, they wouldn't know if they would meet people from the evil divine palace or the Jiang family. Instead, they would be discovered by them. The enemy was in the dark, and they were in the light. Even if Lin Xian had the spatial attribute, he couldn't have done such a long-distance spatial jump. Therefore, the best choice now was for them to hide in the dark, improve themselves, and let the enemy jump into their trap. As long as there was no suppression of a large realm, even if there was a gap of 4 or 5 stars, with their abilities, they could definitely make up for it. Go! Then, the 3 of them quickly walked into the depths. Not many people had come in, but there were already people in front of them. Therefore, there weren't many demonic beasts left. The area in front of them was like a node. As for how high they were from the ground, it wasn't clear. However, one thing was for sure. They must be slowly moving underground. In front of him, there was a corpse emitting a foul stench. It was not because it was rotten, but because it had just died. But because of the poison, the corpse had already begun to rot. It was enough to show how strong the poison was. Those who came here must be at the mysterious heaven realm. For a mysterious heaven realm expert to die here, it's very dangerous. Han Chushue looked around vigilantly. In this place, they naturally had to bring light. Because it was too dangerous. What's going on? There's more than one corpse. As they continued to move forward, they discovered that one corpse after another appeared before them. At a distance of about 500 meters, they discovered no less than 5 corpses. If one mysterious heaven realm expert died here, it might be because of carelessness. But if there were 5, then it was definitely a disaster. Lin Xian released the Eye of Cave Spirit. The Eye of Cave Spirit allowed Lin Xian to discover all kinds of barriers, hidden mechanisms, secret doors, and even the direction of heaven and earth spiritual energy. When the Eye of Cave Spirit was released, Lin Xian was surprised to find that there was actually heaven and earth spiritual energy pouring into the cave. No, to be precise, there was something even deeper releasing heaven and earth spiritual energy pouring out. This was good news. In other words, there was some kind of heaven and earth spiritual energy in the depths of the 10,000 Spider Cave. As for what it was, no one knew. Or perhaps it was the Abyss Yama spirit. Lin Xian did not discover anything else, but after activating the Eye of Cave Spirit, Lin Xian could see everything around him without any pressure, even if there was no light. It was as if he was wearing a night detector. Lin Xian felt that there was a need to activate the Eye of Cave Spirit, especially after seeing the 5 mysterious heaven realm corpses. After advancing for a period of time, several more caves appeared. The surroundings were filled with huge spider webs. If they were careless and stuck to the webs, they might need a long time to get off. This was not the main problem. The main problem was that the spider webs were highly poisonous. Ling Ying glanced at the two and said, "Inject the serum. The poisonous gas in the air here has reached a level where it can harm us." Okay. Then, they took out the serum. "I feel dizzy. I can't do it." Lin Xian watched the 2 women inject themselves with the serum without any hesitation. Then, he felt that he was too weak. They had experience and might often inject themselves with certain kinds of injections, but Lin Xian did not. He had taken injections before, but he had never pricked himself. He just felt that he could not do it. If you asked Lin Xian to stab himself in the palm, he would not be afraid. In fact, he would not hesitate because he had done it before. However, this kind of thing that he had never done before might be even less dangerous. He needed the first time. Useless. Ling Ying took the needle from Lin Xian and injected it into him. Ouch! Lin Xian cried out. "You did it on purpose." They had only stabbed him a little, but Lin Xian felt that his arm was about to be pierced by Ling Ying. Ling Ying revealed a sly smile. "Yes, on purpose." Lin Xian, go, go, go. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at Ling Ying. Then, he rolled up his sleeves and scanned the front with his eye of spiritual insight. Strange, all 5 mysterious heaven realm cultivators are dead. Why haven't we seen a single dark venomous spider yet? Lin Xian muttered to himself. It's simple. This proves that other cultivators have already passed by. There are many demonic beast corpses around. But it's obviously very dangerous. Ling Ying said. "Which path should we take?" Ling Ying asked Lin Xian. Although she was stronger than Lin Xian, she was really used to having Lin Xian as her backbone and listening to Lin Xian's orders. Many branches had appeared again. This was good news. The more branches there were, the harder it would be for the evil fiend hall cultivators to find them. They would have to split up and enter 1 or 2 caves. This way, they would not be able to gather in a short period of time. Then, Lin Xian and the others might be able to kill them gradually. Otherwise, it might cause the 3 of them to be surrounded by more than 10 people. In that case, even if they all advanced to the mysterious heaven realm, it would be difficult to fight. Lin Xian pointed at the leftmost branch. Because the Eye of Spiritual Insight could see that the denser heaven and earth spiritual energy was being released from there. Chapter 330. They did not ask Lin Xian why, because they did not know that Lin Xian had the Eye of Cave Spirit. They followed him into the leftmost cave. When they walked in, they found a problem. There were no traces of humans in this cave. The ground of the cave was made of stone, but it was covered in soil. Footprints could be seen. Based on their experience, they looked at the ground the moment they entered. After walking for a while, they did not find any footprints, which meant that no one had been here before. Those martial artists from before were all in other caves. As for whether these caves would converge again, it was unknown. But this was not good news, but it was also good news. The good news was that Lin Xian wanted to quickly reach Arcane Body Realm 10 stars and needed demonic beasts to provide experience. No one had been here before, which meant that there were many demonic beasts. But the bad news was that no one had been here before, which meant that it was more dangerous. But to them it did not matter. The three of them continued to go deeper. In the incomparably quiet cave. No matter how small the sound was, it could be heard clearly. When they went deeper, they indeed saw demonic beasts. And there were many of them. These demonic beasts gave Lin Xian the feeling that they did not know that their compatriots were being slaughtered outside. They were still indifferently spinning spider webs, standing upside down on the wall above their heads, or sleeping in a corner. But when they felt the human aura of Lin Xian and the other two, they all woke up. In the darkness, pairs of green eyes suddenly lit up. This situation was quite scary. Lin Xian and the other two held their spirit weapons in their hands, ready to fight at any time. Remember, you are my support. Give me experience. Lin Xian said with a smile. Okay. In the outside world, this kind of situation basically did not exist. Who did not want to grind more levels and gain more experience? Whoosh! Lin Xian rushed over. There were no less than 8 dark venomous spiders in his line of sight. The lowest was Arcane Body Realm 7 stars, and the highest was 9 stars. This was the difference. The ones he had encountered so far were all at the 1-star Arcane Body Realm, and none of them were higher than the 5-star. Han Chushue's slender body released a powerful frost energy towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian only felt his surroundings suddenly turn cold. Then, before the group of dark venom spiders in front of him could even attack, they were all sealed in ice. Han Chushue's frost energy was already terrifying, and now that she was in the profound heaven realm, it was too easy for her to freeze a 9th-star profound body realm cultivator. However, he couldn't figure out how those profound heaven realm cultivators had died there. It was impossible for an arcane body realm dark venom spider to kill it. It had to be a profound heaven realm dark venom spider. All of the dark venomous spiders were sealed in ice. Lin Xian's 1,000 evils transformed into a heavy sword. With his strength as a 9th-star arcane body realm cultivator, he directly sliced through the ice and stabbed into the dark venomous spider's head at the same time. One fatal strike, instant kill. The next few beasts were killed in the same way. This was definitely the easiest time Lin Xian had ever killed a demonic beast of this level. This sword is a little interesting. Ling Ying saw that Lin Xian's sword could actually switch between a light sword and a heavy sword. This was something he had never heard of before. Lin Xian then landed in front of them and grinned at Han Chushue. Little Chushue, let's work together to kill monsters in the future. It's too awesome, it doesn't take any effort at all. Lin Xian said with a smile. Han Chushue paused for a moment. She didn't know how to respond to Lin Xian, so she chose to remain silent. Lin Xian also had the ice attribute, but he couldn't do this. Even if he could, he would have to use an ice attribute martial skill. But what about Han Chushue? What she used wasn't a martial skill, but pure frost energy, just like how Lin Xian used the lightning attribute. It wasn't a martial skill. This was the terrifying aspect of Han Chushue's control over frost energy. Under such circumstances, it naturally consumed spiritual energy, but it was very, very little. Look at how beautiful you are. Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. Of course it's beautiful. With the frost energy controlling all the demonic beasts, I only need to deal the finishing blow and instantly kill them. This is a comfortable thing for any martial artist. Lin Xian said with a smile. Because I can only do it because I'm in the mysterious heaven realm. But if I meet a martial artist or demonic beast of the same realm, I can only use martial skills to freeze them. Han Chushue explained. That's enough. This was the strength of the ice attribute. How should it be said? Each of the major attributes had a powerful effect that couldn't be replaced. The large area control of the ice attribute was incomparable to any other attribute. Of course, space and time could be compared, But cultivating the frost energy to a certain level and cultivating the space to a certain level were two different concepts. It might take 20 years to master the frost energy, but for space, if you spend 200 years, you might not even be able to master half of it. Lin Xian himself really liked the ice attribute. Although he had the ice attribute, his control of the frost energy was still at the level of a younger brother. It was only when he used martial skills that he was powerful. If he didn't use martial skills, his frost energy would only be able to hit a little stinky brother. However, if he pushed Bing Lingyue down, Lin Xian's mastery of the frost and water attributes would reach the level of mastery. He would be even more powerful than Han Chuxue now. This was Lin Xian's advantage. He didn't need to spend many years. He didn't need many years of hard work. He only needed to *ck a girl and he could obtain the results of other people's decades of hard work. This was simply too much of a bug. At the same time, if he could get Ling Long Shui, his space attribute would also reach the level of mastery. If he could do that, wouldn't he be invincible in the same realm? No, not just in the same realm. He would be invincible even if he was a few realms higher. Little Chuxue, how good is your ice attribute control now? Lin Xian asked. Han Chuxue thought for a moment and said, about 70%. But the most frightening thing about Chuxue is her elemental purity. Her ice elemental purity is over 90% even without any increase. In the future, if she meets an ice elemental world spirit treasure and refines it, the ice elemental purity will be extremely frightening. Ling Ying said enviously. Compared to Han Chuxue, she was a lot weaker. Her dark attribute purity was only 70%. However, with Lin Xian's help, it was now 100%. But the wind attribute is a bit weak. Han Chuxue said. You also have the wind attribute? Lin Xian opened his mouth. He originally thought that Han Chuxue only had the ice attribute. However, after thinking about it, Ling Ying also had dual attributes. It was normal for Han Chuxue to have dual attributes as well. Wind and ice, it was also a good combination. For example, releasing ice crystals could increase the speed of the ice crystals with the help of the wind attribute. At the same time, the frost energy could spread faster with the help of the wind attribute. Chapter 331. However, no matter what, Lin Xian and Han Chuxue were able to work together like this. It was definitely comfortable. Stop chatting, there's movement. Ling Ying suddenly said. Then, the three of them looked in front of them at the same time. It was a very heavy feeling. Usually, anyone who could give them such a feeling was definitely a powerful character. Mystic Heaven Realm was the least. The flashlight shone in front of them. There was a turn in front of them, and a black shadow was getting bigger and bigger as it walked out from the turn. Just by looking at the shadow, they knew it was the dark venom spider. Soon, the shadow appeared in front of them. Lin Xian released his eye of spirit. Damn it! I can't see its realm. Be careful, this dark venom spider is very strong. Ling Ying said. I can feel it. Lin Xian then quietly walked behind Ling Ying. Ding! Hiding behind a lady when in danger is considered a scumbag behavior. Scumbag value plus 200,000. Ling Ying. Are you still a man? Ling Ying saw Lin Xian's actions and cursed. I'm a 9 stars mystic body realm. Shouldn't I be hiding behind you 2 mystic heaven realms? He felt that Lin Xian's words made sense, but why did he feel that he was doing it on purpose? It was so annoying. Let me test it first. Han Chuxue said. She held her light sword and turned into a white shadow as she rushed forward. The dark venom spider, which was at least 4 meters long, spat out white poisonous silk from its mouth. There was more than one, and it instantly rushed toward Han Chuxue. Whoosh whoosh, Han Chushue's speed was displayed vividly at this moment. Her wind attribute burst out and she easily dodged the spider's silk. Then, she arrived in front of the dark venom spider and slashed with her sword. The white sword shadow followed the light sword and slashed forward at the same time. Come on! I'll give you a light! Lin Xian shouted from behind and raised his flashlight. Ling Ying. Ding, the dark venom spider raised its front pincer. When the two collided, the sound of metal colliding could be heard. So, Han Chushue used the force of the impact to jump back to her original position. After landing, she staggered 2 steps before stabilizing herself. Mysterious Heaven Stage 5 stars. Han Chushue then said, "That's good." Bang, bang, bang. The gigantic dark venom spider's speed was so fast that it made one's hair stand on end. It let out an ear-piercing shriek as its black figure charged towards them. Fixed image. Ling Ying also moved. Because there was light, there were shadows. Therefore, Ling Ying could also use shadow fixation. The darkly venomous spider that was charging over suddenly stopped in its tracks. No matter how hard it tried, it was unable to break free from the fate of being immobilized. However, in the next second, the dark venomous spider broke free from the shackles of shadow fixation. If I defeat him and let Lin Xian finish him off, I should be able to advance to 10 stars of the arcane body stage. After saying that, Han Chushue rushed up. "Hey, look at how considerate he is." Lin Xian said. "I beg you, please stop talking." After saying that, Ling Ying's figure instantly disappeared. In the blink of an eye, he was behind the dark venom spider. In the same realm, demonic beasts were harder to deal with. However, that was not necessarily the case. If the opponent was an expert like Ling Ying or Han Chushue, then the martial artist would be even harder to deal with. Demonic beasts had their own advantages. Qi, the strength of Ling Ying's dark attribute, was highlighted at this moment. The dark venom spider could not react at all and was directly stabbed in the back. However, "It's too hard. It can't be penetrated." After saying that, Ling Ying distanced himself from the beast. This was normal. Demonic beasts had strong physiques. In addition, they were 3 or 4 stars higher than them. It was difficult to injure them normally. However, they did not panic. This was only a temporary test of the waters. They had not used any martial techniques yet. Lin Xian actually felt like he was a gigolo. The 2 girls were helping him fight, and he was the one who finished him off. Heavens! Was this the result of being handsome? Then he hoped that he was more handsome. However, although Lin Xian's realm was not high, he still hoped that he could help them a little. Heavenly Thunder Flash. Boom! A bolt of lightning condensed energy was thrown over. It directly exploded on the dark venom spider's body. "I beg you, don't do anything." Ling Ying let out a helpless voice. Sorry, I'll just stay here and not do anything," Lin Xian said awkwardly. The Heavenly Thunder Flash had a range of 5 meters and almost injured Ling Ying. "Chushue, do you dare to finish it in 10 seconds? Ling Ying landed beside Han Chushue. Han Chushue did not reply. Instead, she replied to him with an action. 10 seconds. Lin Xian raised an eyebrow. Was this an expert? Facing a demonic beast that was several stars higher than her, she actually wanted to finish it in 10 seconds. Boom! The terrifying shockwave directly penetrated the wall. This was the infrasound released by the dark venom spider. Luckily, it was not released on Lin Xian. Otherwise, if he was hit, his internal organs would have been directly shattered. Seeing this, Lin Xian silently retreated a little more. At this moment, Han Chushue leaped up, her delicate body actually floating in mid-air. A terrifying cold energy exploded from her body. This cold energy seemed to even freeze the air. And Ling Ying was attracting the dark venom spider's attention. Countless ice crystals formed around Han Chushue's body. What made Lin Xian's jaw drop was that this cold energy actually froze the thick walls around them to the point that they cracked. This was done purely with cold energy. How cold was that? This was clearly one of Han Chushue's big moves. As for its grade, it was at least 5 stars. "Let's go!" Han Chushue shouted. Following that, Ling Ying borrowed the power of the dark attribute to disappear from the spot, using the darkness like a ghost to appear beside Lin Xian. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The ice crystals that filled the sky were unimaginably fast. It must have been combined with Han Chushue's wind attribute power, for they all rushed towards the dark venom spider in an instant. Green blood splattered all over the surrounding walls as countless ice crystals pierced through the dark venom spider's body. The dark venom spider was naturally heavily injured, but it was not as serious as imagined because it had blocked all the ice crystals that could cause fatal damage to it. "All right, leave it to me." Ling Ying's lips curled. Lin Xian then saw Ling Ying disappear beside him, and she appeared above the dark venom spider. In Lin Xian's vision, it was as if he saw all the darkness around him turn into threads and enter Ling Ying's body. Lin Xian even thought that he was seeing things. He rubbed his eyes. No, it was true. The darkness had really entered Ling Ying's body and sword. What kind of move was this? In the next instant, Lin Xian's jaw dropped. Ling Ying was attacking the dark venom spider at a speed that could not be seen with the naked eye. He could only see the shadows of the black sword, and the dark venom spider's body suddenly pausing from the continuous attacks. This was not the most exaggerated part. The most exaggerated part was the frequency of the attacks. Ling Ying's attack frequency was like light, and he could really see a flash of light piercing through the dark venom spider's body at an unimaginable speed. Chapter 332. Damn! That attack frequency is invincible. Lin Xian exclaimed. Han Chushue landed beside Lin Xian and said softly, "The limit of this skill is 30 attacks in a second. It can even kill an opponent who is 7 or 8 levels higher, as long as the opponent isn't of the earth or metal element. 30 attacks in 1 second. Wouldn't this hand speed be enough to break me?" Ha! Han Chushue did not understand what Lin Xian meant. It's fine. Lin Xian smiled bitterly, feeling a little despicable. A few seconds later, Ling Ying landed in front of Lin Xian. The dark venom spider's 6 limbs, front claws, and everything else protruding out of its body had been cut off. All that was left of the dark venom spider was its dying body. Even if they did not finish it off, the dark venom spider had no chance of survival. Whoosh whoosh, the dark venom spider was still spitting poisonous silk at Lin Xian and the others, as if it was its last bit of stubbornness. No, it was fear. It was so afraid that it attacked subconsciously. It was like a person who had lost his mind and was crazily shooting at his enemies with a submachine gun. Of course, he could not hit them, so he had lost his mind. The poison it spat out was disorderly. It was obvious that it was in despair. Han Chushue swung her sword. The sword chi hit the dark venom spider. The dark venom spider's body slammed into the wall and fell to the ground. It turned into an ice sculpture on the way to the ground. "Go finish it off," Ling Ying said to Lin Xian. Lin Xian scratched his head. Hee, I'm a little embarrassed." With that, he walked over. "If you're sorry, then please show a little bit of embarrassment." Ling Ying secretly touched his forehead. Indeed, a shameless person was invincible. "Let me think about how to deal with it," Lin Xian muttered. "Hey, hurry up and end it. Otherwise, I'm hanging up," Ling Ying shouted. Then, Lin Xian placed Thunderbolt on the icicle. Buzz buzz buzz, lightning exploded, followed by the smell of charcoal. No, it's the stench. This bastard must have done it on purpose. Ling Ying covered his nose. Some things were super fragrant after being roasted, but some things were super smelly. Obviously, this poisonous spider definitely didn't smell good. Ding! You have leveled up to 10 stars of the arcane body realm. As expected, after killing this beast, Lin Xian had successfully reached the 10 stars of the arcane body realm. Let's go. I can't hold on any longer. Lin Xian was about to vomit. Why did he have to use lightning to electrocute this thing to death? The smell of burnt meat was unbearable. Didn't they say that everything could be eaten? How could this be eaten? Even if he died, even if he starved to death, he wouldn't eat it. You're sick. He's really sick, Ling Ying said helplessly and quickly left with Han Chushue. When they arrived, they saw Lin Xian eating the heavenly star fruit. "The taste is not bad," Lin Xian praised. Ling Ying was envious. But she wasn't in a hurry. Anyway, Lin Xian had promised to give it to her. She still believed in Lin Xian's words. Although this bastard was usually unreliable. Ding! You have leveled up to the arcane heaven realm. A terrifying power erupted from Lin Xian's body. Arcane heaven realm. Lin Xian suddenly clenched his hands and felt a power that he had never felt before coming from his fingertips. 1 stage was the difference between 10 stars of the arcane body realm and 1 star of the arcane heaven realm. This difference of 1 stage made Lin Xian feel an earth-shattering change. No wonder when he fought with Chu Haohan, who was at the arcane body realm, he only had the strength of 1 stage. The difference of this realm was simply too great. It was tens of times greater than when he advanced from the spirit focus realm to the arcane body realm. It might even be more than that. This feeling is so good. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that with just 1 stage, Lin Xian felt that his strength had increased by several times. Lin Xian hurriedly took a look at his attributes. Name, Lin Xian. Age, 21. Realm, Arcane Heaven Realm. 1 star level, 31 experience points. 0103000 Scumbag value, 31210100 Strength, 106 Vitality, 166 Agility, 155 Spirit, 945 Spiritual Energy, 350. The other attributes were considered average, but his spiritual energy was quite high. Lin Xian was quite satisfied. He looked at Han Chushue's spiritual energy. It was only a little over 800, but his was close to 950. This also caused his spiritual energy to be higher than Han Chushue's by nearly 1,000. Now, he could release the 1,000 Attractors' heavenly prison. And after releasing it, he would have over 2,000 spiritual energy. Awesome! But that was not necessarily the case. The 1,000 Attractors' heavenly prison required at least 3,000 spiritual energy. The bigger and stronger the prison, the more spiritual energy it would consume. How's the power of the arcane heaven realm? Ling Ying asked with a smile. Awesome. I feel like I'm flying. Lin Xian laughed. It was really awesome. He had experienced the power of the Grand Dominion realm before. That feeling was even more exaggerated, but this feeling was more realistic, and he liked it more. However, the F*King Arcane Heaven Realm already required 100,000 experience points to level up? That was ridiculous. But at the same time, Arcane Heaven Realm monsters also brought a lot of experience points. So relatively speaking, it was nothing. As long as he continued to kill higher level monsters, the experience points would naturally be higher. Hurry up and move forward. I feel that the Gloom Spider's carcass might attract some people or even monsters. Ling Ying said to Lin Xian. They're already here. Han Chushue looked ahead. A group of Gloom Spiders rushed out. Lin Xian glanced around. Most of them were at the Arcane Body Realm, but there were a few at the Arcane Heaven Realm. Let me. I want to test the power of the Arcane Heaven Realm. Lin Xian said eagerly. Then go ahead. Be careful. These Gloom Spiders are very sharp. Even if you're at the Arcane Heaven Realm, you might be pierced through by them. Ling Ying warned. After all, there were too many Gloom Spiders in front. Do you need my help? Han Chushue asked. No need. I'll do it. Lin Xian's lips curled. He was really looking forward to the power of the Arcane Heaven Realm. Whoosh! Lin Xian rushed forward. If anyone saw him, they would think that he was crazy. Wasn't this too dangerous? 1,000 Lightning Strike. Lin Xian's 1,000 Evil Saber was wrapped in lightning. He rushed forward and swung it continuously, as if he was cutting tofu. With the Arcane Heaven Realm and the doubled strength, he could cut through iron like it was mud. Whoosh! He slashed out with 1,000 Lightning Strike, and the terrifying lightning sword aura whistled through the air, clearing everything in front of him. Extreme Lightning Sky Flash. Lin Xian rushed into the group of monsters again and swung his saber, surrounded by lightning. The moment the Extreme Lightning Sky Flash was formed, dozens of lightning sword shadows fell from the sky. The terrifying power tore the gloom spiders apart, and at the same time, formed a lightning sword formation. All the gloom spiders were electrocuted to death. Chapter 333. To be honest, the two girls were very surprised. Where did Lin Xian get so many Earth-tier martial skills? Han Chushue asked Ling Ying in surprise. She counted the martial skills that Lin Xian had used, and it seemed that they were all Earth-tier martial skills. Ordinary martial artists would be burning incense to have an Earth-tier martial skill. 90% of martial artists had the limit of a profound tier martial skill, and they did not have the ability to obtain an Earth-tier martial skill. Because of their own uniqueness, it was normal for them to have several Earth-tier martial skills, but Lin Xian, according to Han Chushue's understanding of Lin Xian, his family was very ordinary. At most, they were a little rich, but Earth-tier martial skills were not something that could be obtained with money. But every martial skill that Lin Xian displayed was at least Earth-tier. Who could withstand this? This made Han Chushue especially curious. I don't know either. Ling Ying said helplessly. Not only did he have Earth-tier martial skills, but Lin Xian had too many things that made her feel incredulous. Sky Star Fruit, attribute increasing potions, and when Lin Xian used some method to kill a Thunder Tribulation Realm beast in the demonic beast domain, all of these were heaven-defying. She also did not know where Lin Xian came from. She felt that Lin Xian was too mysterious. Could it be that Lin Xian knew Linglong Shui at that time? It did not seem like it. She felt that when Lin Xian and Linglong Shui met in Deep Cold Valley, their relationship was very tense. Now that their relationship was good, it proved that Lin Xian knew how to pick up girls, but it was not good before, so it was even more impossible for him to get so many rare treasures from Linglong Shui. Ling Ying asked before, but Lin Xian did not tell her, so she did not ask anymore. Who did not have a secret? But she was definitely curious. For example, Lin Xian had many Earth-tier martial skills. Just based on what she saw, Lin Xian had 4 Thunder attribute Earth-tier martial skills. Who? Lin Xian came to their side, then let out a sigh of relief and grinned. Am I? Ling Ying. Han Chushue. Scram. What a vulgar person. Alright, then let me rephrase my question. Am I awesome? The two girls. Was that a sword technique? Ling Ying couldn't be bothered to argue with Lin Xian about this topic. The move Lin Xian had just released was quite powerful. Not only did it explode with an extremely powerful force the moment it was released, but it could also last for a long time after it was released, making it impossible for any life form to survive. Ling Ying wasn't afraid because her attributes were countered. If he was trapped, he could just use his dark attribute to escape from her range. However, she felt that if she couldn't escape, if she was trapped inside, it would be difficult for her to survive. She was also quite envious. The lightning attribute was indeed powerful. However, the dark attribute was even more powerful. And it was also very powerful. It's a sword technique. To be precise, it uses sword techniques to form a sword array. It needs some time to release it, but it's very powerful. Lin Xian said. The main reason he released it was to see how powerful this heavenly lightning flash was. He was very satisfied with the answer. As of now, he basically didn't lack any martial arts techniques. He had all kinds of offensive martial arts techniques, but what he lacked was a life-saving martial arts technique. However, at the same time, he needed to have the corresponding attributes. He had a life-saving technique, the spatial attribute. However, Lin Xian still wanted various other attributes. Every attribute he obtained was simply too much for Lin Xian to improve. It was an increase of several times. Of course, just having attributes wasn't enough. He also needed attribute proficiency. Otherwise, it wouldn't be that much stronger. He could only release the corresponding power to achieve the effect of the corresponding attribute. However, that was enough. Lin Xian didn't have that much time to increase every attribute to a certain level. Fortunately, he had the scumbag system. Completing the mission would allow him to increase his attribute proficiency. I can feel it. If I'm trapped inside, I probably won't be able to survive. Han Chushue said faintly. Lin Xian smiled. That's not necessarily the case. Firstly, it's not easy to trap martial artists with the wind attribute. Secondly, it's still possible to kill ordinary martial artists and demonic beasts. I don't believe that you guys can't fight back after being trapped inside. Lin Xian was also speaking the truth. Unless it was a heaven-grade martial arts technique, it could kill martial artists of their level. If it wasn't, it would be very difficult under normal circumstances. Han Chushue then nodded slightly. She wanted to show that Lin Xian's martial arts technique was very powerful. It was indeed powerful. Both of them had advanced to Mysterious Heaven Realm 1 star. That was enough. Lin Xian felt that what he had gained so far today was already more than enough. Wasn't reaching the Mysterious Heaven Realm enough? It was completely enough. Even if they went back now, it wouldn't matter. However, the current situation wasn't good for the three of them. They needed to run out or kill their way out. That was obviously stupid. They needed to kill them one by one. We'll go our own way, and they'll chase after them. Whether we live or die, it'll be up to fate. Lin Xian said. All right. Then, the three of them continued to move forward. In fact, there weren't that many demonic beasts in this place. These demonic beasts were more refined. Basically, all of them were at the Mysterious Heaven Realm. However, there weren't many of them. It was as if these Mysterious Heaven Realm demonic beasts had their own small territories. After reaching the Mysterious Heaven Realm, they didn't care about the experience given by the Mysterious Heaven Realm 1 star demonic beasts, unless it was a large amount of experience. With Lin Xian's lightning attribute, an Earth-grade martial arts technique could instantly kill opponents of the same realm. It could even seriously injure opponents 2 stars higher than him. This was the strength of Earth-grade martial arts and the lightning attribute. However, the prerequisite was that it had to hit. However, once it was hit by Lin Xian, it would be fatal. We should be in a very deep area now. This should be close to the distance where the people who obtained the Deep Abyss Yama spirit went. However, logically speaking, there shouldn't be enough oxygen in such a deep place. On the contrary, I feel that the deeper we go, the more oxygen there is compared to the previous area. Do you guys feel the same? As they walked, Ling Ying looked at Han Chushue and Lin Xian and asked. The two of them nodded. This was also what Lin Xian was very curious about. Oxygen was released by plants through photosynthesis. The deeper they went, the thinner the oxygen from the whole. Could it be that there was some plant that could produce oxygen? But there was no sun. However, this couldn't be said accurately because there were too many things that people in this world didn't understand. If you haven't seen it before, you can't say that it doesn't exist. The three of them were relatively slow because no one had been here before. They didn't know where the danger was, so the people behind them could catch up to them faster. Soon, the three of them heard a soft sound coming from behind. It was soft because it was far away, but someone was already behind them. As for who it was very important. Chapter 334. Lin Xian scratched his head and looked at Ling Ying and Han Chushue. Let's continue forward and wait for them to come. Lin Xian's group was definitely not as fast as the others because they were at the front. They had to move slowly and carefully while clearing out the demonic beasts. However, the people behind them were different. After clearing out the demonic beasts, they knew that there were people in front of them. They knew that the danger was basically gone and they just had to keep moving forward. This should be the path that they took. Behind them, the two people stopped and scanned the surroundings. There's water, and the dark venomous spiders were all killed by lightning. They were of the ice attribute and had a large range of lightning attribute. However, the ones behind them were all killed by swords. However, there are signs of ice turning into water. It should be them. Should we inform branch leader Jiang and the others? The other man asked. Don't worry. We're in the dark now. Even if we meet them, we won't be in danger. Let's wait until we really meet them. After that, the two of them continued to move forward quickly. At this moment, Lin Xian's group of 3 had just killed a Mysterious Heaven Realm 7-star dark venomous spider together. It took a lot of effort. In the end, it was killed by Ling Ying. She also successfully advanced to Mysterious Heaven Realm 3-star. Lin Xian took a deep breath and looked at Ling Ying. This won't do. By the time they come, our spiritual energy will have been exhausted by these demonic beasts. There weren't many dark venomous spiders, but their cultivation was very high. Normally, this was good news. They could rest and recover their spiritual energy and treat it as leveling up. However, if there were people chasing after them, that would not be good news. They're here, Ling Ying suddenly said. Lin Xian threw a medicinal pill to each of them. This was the spiritual energy recovery pill that Lin Xian had cheated Ling Long Shui. It could recover a large amount of spiritual energy. After giving 2 to Ling Ying, Lin Xian still had 5 left. However, he had no choice but to use it now. I'll consume it first to recover my spiritual energy value. Lin Xian still had more than 1,000 spiritual energy value left. When he took the pill, his spiritual energy value increased by 300. Lin Xian. F***CK. This spirit recovery pill is so overbearing. Lin Xian exclaimed. If he could use it endlessly, he wouldn't have to worry about running out of spiritual energy value. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. The 3 of them recovered their spiritual energy value and continued to move forward. At this time, they entered a relatively large space. The moment they stepped in, they felt a strong spiritual energy of heaven and earth. At the same time, the air was filled with a dense poison. The effect of the serum is about to wear off. We can rely on our strength and the residual effects of the serum to resist the poison. However, if we get bitten by the dark venom spider, we'll be in danger. Ling Ying said with a frown. This place, why is the poison in the air suddenly so much stronger? Han Chushue glanced around. Is that the abyssal Yama spirit? Lin Xian suddenly saw a green plant in the corner. This should be the first plant they saw after going deep inside. The 2 women looked in the direction Lin Xian's flashlight was shining. It's the abyssal Yama spirit. Ling Ying showed a surprised expression. This abyssal Yama spirit was actually nothing special. It was about 50 centimeters tall and covered in green vegetation. A main root extended from it, and leaves that looked like clover grew on top of it. This wasn't anything special, but if there was anything special about it, it would be the black light that lingered around the abyss Yama spirit. What is this light? To be precise, it's poison. The abyssal Yama spirit's poison is in place. When it's not touched, this black power will constantly linger, releasing a strong poison at the same time. Once touched, the poison will be divided into 2 parts. One part will attack the person who touches it, while the other part will really pour into the abyssal Yama spirit. The abyssal Yama spirit you see now is actually not its true appearance. Then Ling Ying walked over. Be careful. Ling Ying shook his head and said, It's okay. This abyssal Yama spirit is probably only in its infancy. I'm afraid that the 2 people at that time had only consumed the infancy abyssal Yama spirit. They didn't obtain the poison attribute without withstanding the poison. I'm afraid that you really need a particularly strong abyssal Yama spirit to obtain the poison attribute. Of course, the premise is that you don't die. After saying that, Ling Ying stretched out his hand towards the abyssal Yama spirit. Lin Xian was frightened. Of course, Ling Ying's hand was wrapped with her spiritual power to isolate the poison. Then, Lin Xian saw that part of the black poison gas surrounding the abyssal Yama spirit directly rushed up to Ling Ying's arm, and the other part poured into the veins of the leaves. When the poison poured into the veins of the leaves, Lin Xian was surprised to see the changes in the abyssal Yama spirit. The green vegetation turned into a particularly strange black-purple color in an instant. Even the veins on the leaves looked like blood flowing inside. If this was the abyssal Yama spirit, Lin Xian would definitely believe it. With this appearance, even a fool would know what level of spiritual grass this was. Wait. Lin Xian frowned. If he didn't know about the abyssal Yama spirit before, it was understandable because this was the first time he had heard of it. However, when Lin Xian saw the appearance of the abyssal Yama spirit, the sacred imperial physician technique in his memory recorded it. In the sacred imperial physician technique, there was such a poisonous grass. It was green and poisonous. Lin Xian was also aware of this, but he didn't think much about it at that time. The following description said that when the poison entered the veins of the leaves, it would appear purplish-black with red veins. The veins were like blood-red blood vessels. It was an extremely precious and terrifying poisonous grass. However, in the sacred imperial physician technique, this poisonous grass was not called abyssal Yama spirit. In other words, the sacred imperial physician technique was something from Earth. It was very likely, because the name of this grass on planet Aqua Blue was abyssal Yama spirit, but it wasn't in the sacred imperial physician technique. It could only be from another world. However, whether the scumbag system came from Earth or another plane, Lin Xian didn't know. He wasn't sure if it was a product of Earth. If Lin Xian wasn't sure if the poison attribute was because of the abyssal Yama spirit, he knew now. It was indeed a abyssal Yama spirit. According to the sacred imperial physician technique, the abyssal Yama spirit was a spiritual object of heaven and earth. It could even develop intelligence from such a poisonous grass and gradually transform into a human form. It was a spiritual object of this level. Of course, this required an extremely harsh environment. It required an extremely strong spiritual power of heaven and earth and time to be possible. However, this was enough to show how terrifying the abyssal Yama spirit was. A young abyssal Yama spirit was very weak. It was considered a child when it was about 60 centimeters tall. However, it was still independent and ordinary martial artists would die if they touched it. An abyssal Yama spirit of more than 60 centimeters to 1 meter tall was a terrifying nightmare. Its poison was unimaginable. At the same time, taking and refining an abyssal Yama spirit of this level could give one the ability to release poison. Chapter 335. This poison was naturally one of the methods to obtain the poison attribute. Lin Xian was also certain that it was this dark Yama spirit. However, according to the records of the imperial sacred art, there were 2 conditions to refine a dark Yama spirit of this level. First, luck. The poison of the dark Yama spirit was very special. It was strong, but it was perfectly compatible with a person's physique. In other words, if a person had that kind of physique, they could refine the dark Yama spirit without any pressure. Of course, the prerequisite was that their realm was high enough. Otherwise, they would explode and die. And this physique was not a special physique. It was just that the human body's genes were special. But so far, no one knew what kind of special it was. The general meaning was that people with type A blood could do it, but those with type A blood could not. That was the general meaning. But that was not the real meaning. In short, it would not be the same kind of special physique as Linya. It was not to that extent. The Poison Master was probably very lucky to have a physique that was more compatible with the Dark Yama spirit because it was rumored that when he obtained the poison attribute, his realm was not high. Second, it was purely based on one's own ability to refine it. If one's realm was not high enough, there was almost no chance of survival. But there were people who were willing to take risks for the sake of strength, so there was no other way. Ling Ying let go of his hand and then suddenly waved it, directly shaking off the poison. This dark Yama spirit is in its infancy. Even if it is refined, it will not be able to obtain the poison. In fact, the poison attribute obtained in this way was very different from the other attributes. The biggest difference was, there was no martial skill. That's right, there was no martial skill of any lower grade. Unless you could create your own poison attribute martial skill. If there was no martial skill, the poison attribute was actually not strong in a certain aspect. It was more of an invisible killing effect. But it was enough. However, under Lin Xian's cave spirit eye, this dark Yama spirit had indeed released a lot of heaven and earth spiritual energy, but there was even more dense heaven and earth spiritual energy in the depths. In other words, there was a heaven and earth spiritual treasure that was even stronger and more precious than this dark Yama spirit. As for whether it was an even more powerful dark Yama spirit, that was unknown. They're here. Ling Ying's ears twitched slightly, and then she said. The 3 of them looked in the direction they had come from. Then, 2 figures walked over. When the two of them entered, they naturally looked at Lin Xian and the others. When Lin Xian saw that it was still the same two people, he laughed in his heart. If it wasn't for the fact that they had already confirmed that these two people were members of the evil divine palace, it wouldn't have been easy for them to make a move, because they didn't know if they were ordinary warriors or people from the evil divine palace. However, Ling Ying had secretly heard the conversation between these two people on the phone, so he knew that they were from the evil divine palace. They were here to kill them. However, they didn't know that Lin Xian and the others were aware of this fact. I didn't expect us to be so fated. This isn't the first time we've met in the 10,000 Spider Cave. My name is Chen Su, nice to meet you. When they met this time, they were bound to talk. Lin Xian smiled and shook hands with him. Yes, it's fate. My name is Lin Xian. I know these two. Chen Su looked at Ling Ying and the others, then smiled and said, You're quite famous in Tianhua City, Lin Xian. Chen Su suddenly pretended to realize something, then looked at Lin Xian. You can't be the Lin Xian who saved many people in Tianhua City, right? Lin Xian laughed in his heart. This person really knew how to act. Yes. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and said, In terms of acting, he wasn't weak either. So it really is you. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you. I've long heard of your deeds, and I'm very impressed. Chen Su smiled at Lin Xian. Lin Xian also greeted him with a smile. This is my friend, An Kong. Lin Xian nodded at him. I didn't expect it to be you guys in front. Then you don't have to worry about the danger. Shall we go together? Lin Xian smiled, then pointed to the abyss Yama in the corner and said, Look at what this is. The two of them looked over. Abyss Yama? Their eyes lit up. Originally, they wanted to quietly inform the others of this news, but their attention was instantly attracted by the abyss Yama. They came here to kill Lin Xian, but who didn't want to become stronger? They also knew that there was an abyss Yama here, and they also knew the powerful effects of the abyss Yama. If they could obtain the poison attribute, wouldn't they be even more invincible? The mission was one of them. There was no one in the world who didn't want to do something that didn't benefit them, and no one would be indifferent when they saw something that was beneficial to them. After all, they were all humans. Yes, it's a abyss Yama. It's a pity that the poison is too strong, and the effect of our serum has just ended. We don't know what kind of poison this abyss Yama is, so we only touched it slightly and didn't dare to touch it again. Lin Xian said. They didn't know how a abyss Yama could obtain the poison attribute. They only thought that it was a abyss Yama. And, after all, your realms may be relatively low. We are all at the arcane body realm, so we should be able to take this abyss Yama. Chen Su said. Right now, the mission was secondary to them. The main thing was this abyss Yama. Lin Xian said, We don't want this one because there is more abundant heaven and earth spiritual energy ahead. In other words, there is a abyss Yama ahead. When the time comes, I'll ask the two of you to pick it for us. Of course, we are all human warriors. The stronger we are, the more prosperous we can be. After saying that, Chen Su walked towards the abyss Yama. He really didn't have any wariness towards Lin Xian and the other two. Lin Xian smiled in his heart. Chen Su stretched out his hand and used his spirit energy to resist the poison. And Kang's attention was all on Chen Su. They were not in a hurry to make a move against Lin Xian and the others because they didn't have the confidence. They also knew that Lin Xian had the spatial attribute and it would be difficult to kill him. They only needed to follow Lin Xian and the others, spread the news, and wait for everyone to rush over. At this moment, Lin Xian and Ling Ying exchanged glances. Han Chuxue also joined them in exchanging glances. The two in front didn't even have any reaction. The main reason was that they didn't expect them to already know. Moreover, they knew that Lin Xian and the others were very decent warriors, so they weren't worried that they would make a move in the demonic beast domain. Therefore, they were even less wary. Fixed Shadow. Ling Ying's Fixed Shadow and Han Chushue's Cold Energy were released at the same time. The two of them were instantly frozen and frozen. Caught off guard, even a mysterious heaven realm 5-star would be controlled by them. 5 thunder celestial phenomenon. The two of them were shocked at the same time, but it was too late. Lin Xian rushed towards Nkong, while Han Chushue and Ling Ying rushed towards Chen Su at the same time. Boom! Chapter 336. The terrifying lightning struck Nkang's body, and his entire body was sent flying away. On the other side, Chen Su's throat was slit by Ling Ying's sword, and Han Chushue's sword pierced through his heart. He didn't even have the chance to resist. Pfft. On the other side, Nkong spat out a mouthful of blood. The power of lightning and the Earth Stage 8-star 5 thunder celestial phenomenon still couldn't take his life. After all, it was 4 stars higher. However, now that he was being attacked so steadily, even if he was treated immediately, he probably wouldn't be able to survive. You're trying to murder me. Nkong raised his hand with difficulty and pointed at the 3 of them. Lin Xian grinned and walked over, then stepped on his body. Ah! A blood-curdling scream was especially terrifying. Murder? Didn't you want to murder us first? The 2 of you from the evil fiend hall. Nkong revealed an expression of disbelief. Pain mixed with surprise, but he still didn't want to die. No one wanted to die. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Cough cough, Lin Xian smiled and said, Hey, don't pretend anymore. When your companions were on the phone with branch leader Jiang, we had people by your side. Nkang's pupils suddenly constricted. Blood flowed from his ears, nose, mouth, and eyes. There was no way he could survive. Don't forget, we have a dark elemental here. Ling Ying said proudly, I also have one. Lin Xian. Of course, they knew that Ling Ying had the dark attribute. This wasn't a secret, but they didn't expect that Ling Ying would release the dark attribute to eavesdrop. In other words, did they expose themselves? But he didn't understand. Why did they expose themselves? He knew that even if he was saved, he wouldn't be able to survive. His injuries were too serious. Lin Xian's lightning was too violent. His internal organs had been electrocuted beyond recognition. The only reason he could speak now was because he was a mysterious heaven stage 5-star. Why are you suspicious? Nkong spat out blood and closed his eyes. His eyelids were so tired that he couldn't keep them open. That's because the more you try to hide it, the more you'll expose yourself. You didn't even look at beauties like Han Chushue and Ling Ying when you passed by them a few times, not even once. Is this how a normal man should behave? That's impossible, so you're deliberately not communicating with us, not even making eye contact. Instead, it's your weakness. Lin Xian released his foot. I can't accept this. Tell me, who brought you here? Who was the branch master of the Jiang clan? How many of you are there? How strong are you? Lin Xian bombarded him with questions. Nkong spat out blood and sneered. He was dead for sure. He might as well be a dead man. If he wasn't dead yet and still had a chance to live, then he would say that he would beg Lin Xian to spare his life. Even if you kill us, it's useless. All of you must die. After Nkong finished speaking, his body lost all strength and his neck tilted. At the same time, a system notification sounded in Lin Xian's mind. It was very simple to determine if a person was dead or not. That was to listen to the system notification to see if there were any experience points. If there were, then they were dead. Therefore, there was no such thing as playing dead, total breathing technique, or feigning death. Because it could be seen in an instant. That was the stupidest thing to do. Dead. Lin Xian was stunned for a moment, then he kicked his corpse. F***CK, he's dead? Wah. Why did you kill him? Otherwise, you might have been able to get some information from him. Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian with a look of disappointment. Lin Xian shrugged helplessly and said, How would I know that this guy was so weak? I thought that since he was at the mysterious heaven realm 5 stars and I was at the mysterious heaven realm 1 star, even if I used an Earth Stage Lightning martial skill, I wouldn't be able to injure him to this extent. But to be on the safe side, I had to use a high-level martial skill. Who knew that he would die? Lin Xian was also shocked by his own strength. Nonsense. He was fixed by me and frozen by Chuxue. Basically, he was defenseless against your strength. If he defended, even if you died, an Earth Stage Lightning martial skill wouldn't be able to cause any substantial damage to a martial artist 4 stars higher than you. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose awkwardly. How should he put it? He still didn't have enough combat experience. He wasn't sure how much damage he could inflict on a martial artist who was 4 stars higher than him. There was no other way. Lin Xian's combat experience was indeed not enough. Back on Earth, Lin Xian was a piece of trash. Even though he was focused on practicing his sword and training, he basically had no combat experience, let alone fighting someone of a higher level. Now that he was on planet Aqua Blue, Lin Xian had only been able to train for a while and had only started fighting recently. How much combat experience did he have? To be honest, if he didn't come from Earth and didn't have the skills he learned on Earth, Lin Xian would still be a little brother, even with the scumbag system. What should we do now? This Abyss Yama spirit is meaningless, and we don't need to take it away. Should we continue to go in or find a chance to go back? Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian and asked. I want to go in and take a look. Because Lin Xian's eye of cave spirit saw the rich spiritual energy being released from inside. He really wanted to go in and take a look. And, how should I put it? It's dangerous to go back now. The best thing is to kill them all here. I'm just worried that we don't have enough strength. Ling Ying said. Don't worry. I don't believe that they can send many experts. After all, they probably know our strength. Lin Xian said. That's right, their strength was basically open and transparent. Even if there was a discrepancy, it wouldn't be by much. If they knew their approximate realm, how could they bring a strong existence over? There was no need. Therefore, Lin Xian felt that one heaven's punishment needle was enough. At this moment, Han Chuxue walked over and handed a piece of paper to Lin Xian. This is... It's from his pocket. It seems to be the list of the members this time. There's a list. Lin Xian revealed a surprised expression and then took it from him. 13 people. The person at the top was called Jiang Zun. Jiang Zun might be the branch leader Jiang they were talking about. Jiang Zun, the head of the Jiang family. I know. Ling Ying said. Then it must be him. Lin Xian continued to read. Instead of calling it a list, it was more like a list of tasks. There would be corresponding rewards for the members, and each of them was different. Jiang Zun, Thunder Tribulation Realm 10 stars. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. But it was nothing because if it was done well, the Heaven's Punishment Needle could be solved. The others were all Mystic Heaven Realm 5 stars. No, other than Mystic Heaven Realm 5 stars, there was another person called Chen Wuji under Jiang Zun, Mystic Heaven Realm 10 stars. Chapter 337. Lin Xian frowned. He wasn't sure if this was the name list for this operation. Logically speaking, who would bring a name list for this operation? Weren't they afraid of it being leaked? But who knew what the rules of the Evil Fiend Temple were? What if this was the rule of the Evil Fiend Temple? Originally, Lin Xian thought that it was normal for there to be an especially powerful person, and that was branch leader Jiang. This was indeed within Lin Xian's expectations. Other Mysterious Heaven Realm 5 stars were normal, and there might be Mysterious Heaven Realm 6 stars or 7 stars. It wasn't impossible to beat them. But if it was Mysterious Heaven Realm 10 stars, logically speaking, they couldn't beat them. Mysterious Heaven Realm 10 stars, no matter what, was higher than Ling Ying's 7 stars realm. She could surpass 3 stars, 4 stars, and even 5 stars, but 7 stars was too exaggerated. Not to mention Lin Xian and Han Chuxue, they had just advanced to the Mysterious Heaven Realm. Facing Mysterious Heaven Realm 10 stars, how could they beat them? This wasn't a matter of being awesome or not, but the other party's realm could easily kill them. Although they didn't surpass a big realm, with such a huge gap, how could they beat them unless it was a sneak attack? This Heaven's Punishment Needle was to be left for Jiang Zun. Then what should they do with mysterious Heaven Realm 10 stars? Fight with their backs to the wall? Bull ****. They might die here if things went wrong. Whether this is the name list for this operation or not, we have to treat it as if it is. In the current situation, if these two experts are really here, we won't be able to get out alive. Then what should we do? I don't want to die, Ling Ying said aggrievedly. Who wants to die? Lin Xian, do you have anything else powerful? Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian expectantly. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, but I can only kill one. So it's not enough. Then what should we do? Lin Xian grinned. I have an idea. What? The two girls looked at Lin Xian curiously. Let's enjoy our last moments. I have a few clothes in my spatial ring. I'll spread them on the ground, and the three of us can do it. Ling Ying instantly understood what Lin Xian meant. Get lost. Han Chuxue also understood. Look at all of you. You might not even get to enjoy the feeling of having sex even when you're about to die. Wouldn't that be a huge loss? At least you should feel what it is, right? It's my first time too. I want to feel it too. Even if I die, it'll be worth it. At least I've felt it. Don't you think so, Chuxue? Han Chuxue turned her head and ignored Lin Xian. Get lost. It was serious. Do you have an idea? Yes. Lin Xian then took out his phone. Help. They seem to have forgotten this. Who? Xiao TS's. She has the most free time. Lin Xian then dialed Ling Longshue's number. The subscriber you have dialed is currently in a call. Please try again later. Lin Xian. 2 seconds ago, it was still beeping, beeping, beeping. Then, this sound came. Oh, it seems like the call was hung up, Ling Ying said, trying to hold back his laughter. Lin Xian showed an awkward expression. That's right, this was the sound of the call being hung up. Oh my. She hung up on me. See, this is your woman, Pickled Pepper Phoenix Claw. I just broke my promise once, and she hung up. Besides, I didn't mean to break my promise, Lin Xian said helplessly. You're the one who broke your promise first. Ling Ying glared at Lin Xian. Han Chuxue secretly rubbed her forehead. Since when were these two enemies still able to bicker? Lin Xian secretly shook his head. Ling Longshui was definitely the best choice because only she could make it in time. If it was Xiao Runing, she might not make it in time. But this girl didn't pick up the phone. Lin Xian then called again, but it was still hung up. It was as if she was waiting for Lin Xian to call again, and it was instantly hung up. ****CK. Lin Xian then called again, and it was instantly hung up. Did she blacklist you? Ling Ying asked. Lin Xian. She can't be, right? Logically speaking, Ling Longshui wasn't familiar with mobile phones, so she shouldn't blacklist him, right? Who knows? Then, Lin Xian tried calling Bing Lingyue's phone. 2 seconds later, it was hung up. Lin Xian was confused. Can you do it? A man can't say no, keep bombarding. At this moment, 2 girls were sitting in a beautiful and exquisite cafe, drinking coffee. Their adaptability was very strong. Ling Long, why don't we pick it up? Bing Lingyue saw that her phone was still ringing, so she asked Ling Longshui. I'm not picking it up. Ling Longshui didn't know why, but she was panting with anger. She had promised them that she would take them to the movies tonight, and then told them that she would be going to the Beast territory with 2 other girls. They were also beauties, and she had already promised them, but now she broke her promise. She was very unhappy. In the past, Ling Longshui would not have any emotional fluctuations because of anyone. Of course, other than her younger sister, she would not have any emotional fluctuations, let alone a man bringing them to watch a movie. Perhaps she didn't even know why she was unhappy. What if it's an emergency? After all, It's quite dangerous for them to be outside, Bing Lingyue said. Ling Longshui was moved. Ding dong, then, her phone rang. It was a WeChat message from Lin Xian. Big sister, I'm going to die. Save me. Ling Longshui frowned slightly. She wasn't sure if Lin Xian's message was a lie or not. Then, Ling Longshui's phone rang again. This time, she chose to pick it up. What's the matter? Ling Longshui's cold voice came through. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief and said, Xiao Linglong, help. I'm being chased. That's great. Lin Xian. Pfft. Ling Ying couldn't help but laugh. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it in. Ling Ying quickly said as she held back her laughter when she saw Lin Xian looking over. Lin Xian glared at Ling Ying and then said to Ling Longshui, help. What can you give this sovereign? Ling Longshui said. Lin Xian. F*ck. This girl had learned all the words he liked to say to Ling Longshui. Lin Xian liked to say this when he was trying to cheat Ling Longshui. What do you want? Lin Xian helplessly learned Ling Longshui's words. Wah. So pitiful. The thing you told this sovereign about. Ling Longshui said. Lin Xian. What did Lin Xian and Ling Longshui talk about? It could help her achieve mastery in her spatial attribute, so it had to be an attribute-increasing potion. Of course, it wasn't a loss to give her the attribute-increasing potion, but Lin Xian couldn't bear to. He was still hoping that he could cheat more things from Ling Longshui with the potion. I thought you didn't believe me? Lin Xian asked. Are you giving it to me or not? If not, I'm hanging up. Lin Xian. F*ck. Lin Xian swore that when the time came, he would definitely make Ling Longshui cry and beg for mercy. F*ck. Okay, I'll give it to you, okay? But you have to give me some more pills. Spirit blood pill. Spirit recovery pill. Chapter 338. The spirit blood pill and spirit regeneration pill were quite important. If they could exchange for some of these, it was actually acceptable. Sure. These pills were not rare to Ling Longshui, but to Lin Xian and the rest, they were treasures. I'll give you a location. You'd better come over now. If you're late, you might only see my corpse. What location? Lin Xian rubbed her forehead. She did not understand. Do you know about the 10,000 spider cave? I don't. Lin Xian rubbed her chin. What should she do? She did not know. I'll send you the location and then send you a video. You can follow the method in the video and use the navigation to find us. The 10,000 spider cave is surrounded by poisonous energy. With your strength, you should be able to easily sense the weak poisonous energy. You should be able to find us easily. Okay. Lin Xian sent her a location and a video of how to navigate. She was not stupid and quickly learned it. Is it close to 200 kilometers? About there. How long will it take? 10 seconds. Lin Xian. 200 kilometers in 10 seconds? That's ridiculous. Just keep going in. I believe that with your perception, you should be able to easily sense the changes in the surrounding spiritual energy. Just go in the direction where the spiritual energy is denser. Lin Xian reminded her. Ling Longshui did not reply and hung up. Done? Should be, but we still have to go in. Jiang Zun and the rest naturally knew about Chen Su's death because they had lost contact with each other. Branch leader Jiang, what should we do now? Jiang Zun frowned and said angrily, lock onto the location of Chen Su's death and rush there. They did not expect that their men would be killed instead. As for whether it was Lin Xian or the demonic beasts that killed them, they weren't sure. Logically speaking, it was impossible for Lin Xian and the others to kill them in such a manner. They didn't even have time to reply before dying. This wasn't normal. However, Lin Xian and the others' attributes were also very strong, so it was possible. Of course, if they encountered a very powerful demonic beast, they could also be killed in an instant. There was no time to reply to the message. However, he, Jiang Zun, could not wait any longer. He had been guarding the entrance of the cave to prevent Lin Xian and the others from escaping, but it seemed like there was no need for that now. Jiang Zun then rushed into the 10,000 Spiders cave. Lin Xian and the other two continued to walk inside. How should he put it? They had already killed them, but they weren't sure if the two of them had spread the news, or if other people would know about their deaths. It would be stupid to continue staying here. With Ling Longshue's ability, her speed was naturally extremely fast. However, in the 10,000 Spider cave, she could only slow down. Because she wanted to find them. Lin Xian could only hope that the two Arcane Body Realm 10-star and Lightning Tribulation Realm cultivators would not find them together, or that Ling Longxue would find them first. It's so sad to be too handsome. Someone wants to kill me. I beg you, please stop talking. You killed two of their sons. If it were me, I would kill you too. But I have to kill them. Ling Ying did not continue speaking. 10 minutes later, they had killed another 2 arcane Heaven Realm Dark Venomous Spiders. They were indeed not weak. Until now, they had not suffered any injuries at all. They're here. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. Everyone quickly turned to look. Bad news, the Arcane Body Realm 10-star is a dark attribute cultivator. Ling Ying's pupils shrank. No wonder they did not notice anything. They had been followed by this dark attribute cultivator. However, because this place was incomparably dark, it was too easy for him to hide. A figure appeared behind them. It was a thin man. He was so thin that it was unbelievable. However, this man's strength was actually at the Arcane Heaven Realm 10-star. Who could withstand this? Still want to run? Zhang Chu coldly glanced at the three of them. When his gaze swept past Han Chushue and Ling Ying's faces, his eyes were filled with lust. That's right, he would not kill these two women. At least not now. Even if he killed them, he would have to wait until he was done. Otherwise, wouldn't it be a waste? Zhang Chu, right? Lin Xian stared at him. Arcane Heaven Realm 10-star, he could not fight. Absolutely not. Even a casual attack could endanger his life. The current situation was to stall for time. Drag Ling Longxue over. Of course, this was also good news. At least the Tribulation Realm Jiang Zun did not come with them. In other words, if Lin Xian killed him and waited for Ling Longxue before Jiang Zun found them, they would be fine today. Lin Xian mainly confirmed this matter too late. Otherwise, he would have contacted Ling Longxue long ago. Oh, you actually know my name. In Zhang Chu's eyes, the three of them were already in the bag. Whether they lived or died was only a matter of time. Not only do I know your name, I also know the names of all of you for this operation. So the mission list fell into your hands. But what's the harm? If you die, everything will be fine. Zhang Chu sneered. What he said just now was through the headset, which meant that other people were rushing over, but so far, Zhang Chu was the only one. I'm afraid you don't know our attributes. Lin Xian said faintly. That's right, stall for time, and at the same time lower Zhang Chu's guard. The bad news was that Zhang Chu was a dark type. As long as he reacted, he could instantly use his dark type ability to dodge Lin Xian's Heaven's Wrath Needle. Lin Xian was now in the mysterious Heaven Realm, so he was qualified to use Heaven's Wrath Needle. Run. Do you think you can run? To tell you the truth, more than a dozen evil fiend shrine members are on the way. If you run back, you'll meet them. If you run deeper, you'll still be courting death. It's just a matter of time. Now, I'll give you a choice. The men must die, but the women can live. Live your mother. Ling Ying flipped his hand and threw a dagger over. Bang! Zhang Chu waved his hand, and a spirit energy lingered in front of him, easily blocking the dagger with the power of the mysterious Heaven Realm. TSK. Mysterious Heaven Realm 3 stars. Zhang Chu sneered. Lin Xian, his realm is too high. My shadow fixing and Chushue's power have little effect on him. It's almost impossible. Ling Ying walked behind Lin Xian and whispered, "Run first." Then Lin Xian released his spatial attribute and teleported the two women a few hundred meters away. Of course, they were running deeper. In fact, they didn't have to run, but Lin Xian chose to run because, first, he could stall for time. Second, running like this would definitely make Zhang Chu lower his guard. At that time, the fatal Heaven's Wrath Needle would be able to take effect. When his guard dropped, it would be his end. The main thing was that Lin Xian needed to be safe. Chapter 339. Lin Xian brought the two women a few hundred meters away. At the same time, he took out the Heaven's Wrath Needle from his interspatial ring. "Little Ling Ying, this is for you." Although Lin Xian really wanted Zhang Chu's experience points, it might not be a good idea to release it himself. "This is..." Ling Ying took the Heaven's Wrath Needle in astonishment. "It's an extremely powerful spirit artifact. I tricked Linglong Shui into giving it to me. It has to be at least at the mysterious heaven realm to release it. Once it hits, it can instantly kill someone at the law realm." "Ling Ying, it's that exaggerated?" Han Chuxue also revealed a shocked expression. "That's right, we'll leave it for Zhang Chu. But, isn't there still a lightning tribulation realm? Why not leave it for the lightning tribulation realm? Are you stupid? Right now, even we can't beat it. Of course, we'll leave it for the enemy at the front. The main thing is that Linglong Shui is on her way here. She should have already entered this place. We just need to resolve the current danger and wait for Linglong Shui." Lin Xian said. If not for Linglong Shui, the Heaven's Wrath Needle would have been left for the Lightning Tribulation Realm. Mysterious Heaven Realm 10 stars. It's not impossible to fight. Ling Ying said. "It's too dangerous. It's true that we can fight, but if we're not careful, we'll be instantly killed." Lin Xian didn't want them to be in any danger. In any case, he had bet everything on Linglong Shui. "Why do you want me to release it? Didn't you release it before?" Ling Ying asked. "You have the dark attribute. When he comes, you can hide and sneak attack him," Lin Xian said. Han Chuxue walked over and said, "I don't think that's good." "Why?" Lin Xian looked at her. "If Ling Ying hides, he'll be more vigilant when he realizes that there's one less person. With his reaction speed, if he's wary of Ling Ying, it won't be easy to hit him. On the other hand, Ling Ying can't hide, and you're the best one to release it. Ling Ying and I will help you attract his attention," Han Chuxue said. Lin Xian thought about it carefully and nodded. She was right. On the contrary, if things went according to his plan, then all his previous actions to make him let his guard down would be in vain. All right. There was no need for them to wait for him here. He would come sooner or later, so they had to continue moving forward. It was a good thing that they could delay for as long as possible. However, there were wolves in front and tigers behind. Just as they were about to move forward, the two dark venom spiders' eyes lit up. Mysterious Heaven Stage 3 stars. Whoosh! The three of them charged forward without the slightest hesitation. Actually, the 3 stars of the Mysterious Heaven realm weren't strong for cultivators of their level. Of course, they would be instantly killed if they weren't careful. However, if they didn't get hit, then they could easily kill the 3 of them. Ling Ying's dark element flashed over, killing one in an instant, while Han Chuxue's ice element froze the other one. Lin Xian's thunder element directly blasted it to death. Running. Behind them, the voice came again. Zhang Chu's realm was much higher than theirs, and there were no more branches here. He only needed to rush over at full speed. He would soon catch up to them. Lin Xian and the other two exchanged glances, then faced Zhang Chu directly. "Oh, not running anymore?" Zhang Chu looked at the 3 of them mockingly. In his opinion, Lin Xian should be running out of spiritual energy. After all, he had used a space jump of over 100 meters and killed many mysterious heaven realm demonic beasts. He should not have much spiritual energy left. Of course, that was not the case. It was just an illusion that he didn't have any spiritual energy left. Fixed image. Ling Ying secretly used fixed image. Zhang Chu was stunned for a moment, then sneered. You have the dark element, and so do I. My realm is much higher than yours. You don't have to think about controlling me. Zhang Chu sneered. He didn't want to kill these two women, but that didn't mean he wouldn't attack them. But Lin Xian must die. However, he knew that in order to deal with Lin Xian, these two women must first lose their fighting ability. But it was simply too easy for him to get rid of these three. Because he had the dark element. He didn't have time to use it just now, but that didn't mean he didn't have it now. Fixed image. The three of them were suddenly imprisoned by the fixed image released by him. In terms of strength, it was definitely not comparable to Ling Ying, but in terms of imprisonment, it was comparable because he was at Mysterious Heaven Realm 10 stars. Although they were imprisoned, they were only unable to move. Han Chushue's powerful cold energy erupted. Zhang Chu revealed a shocked expression. The power released by this 1 star of the Mysterious Heaven stage made him, who was at the Mysterious Heaven stage 10 stars, feel very strong. Unfortunately, the gap was too big. Ha ha ha, it's useless, ha ha ha. Zhang Chu couldn't help but laugh. Heavenly Thunder Flash. Lin Xian continued to condense Heavenly Thunder Flash. Zhang Chu easily dodged the Heavenly Thunder Flash. However, Lin Xian's mouth revealed an evil smile. The three of them didn't speak so far, only giving the illusion that they were struggling to survive. Indeed, it was true. However, their better idea was for Ling Ying and Han Chushue to attract his attention while Lin Xian sneaked up on them, but they were trapped. Therefore, Lin Xian could only choose to use Heavenly Thunder Flash to deceive his vision and attention. In fact, Heavenly Thunder Flash didn't want to attack him. Exchange strength. Then, Lin Xian quietly used his scumbag points to double his strength. What was the point of doubling his strength? It was to throw the Heaven's Wrath Needle with greater strength and speed. Heavenly Thunder Flash continued to bombard them. Zhang Chu was completely playing with them. If he wanted to make a move, the three of them would really be dead. But Lin Xian knew that this was the case because he felt that he was already in an invincible position. Why did he need to rush to kill them? Whoosh! The Heaven's Wrath Needle instantly appeared in his hand. Lin Xian saw that Zhang Chu had just dodged a Heavenly Thunder Flash and then released another one. Of course, he could easily dodge it, but this time, he directly released his strength and easily blocked the Heavenly Thunder Flash. It's useless. Although the thunder is strong, your realm is too low. Zhang Chu said coldly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Lin Xian didn't speak and continued to throw Heavenly Thunder Flash. He was waiting for an opportunity. Waiting for a sure kill opportunity. Zhang Chu was too lazy to dodge. He directly released his strength and blocked Lin Xian's Heavenly Thunder Flash one after another. However, this was the situation that Lin Xian wanted. If Zhang Chu really kept dodging, then he really couldn't throw the Heaven's Wrath Needle. The Heaven's Wrath Needle was secretly thrown out during the Heavenly Thunder Flash. Zhang Chu was casually blocking the Heavenly Thunder Flash a second ago, but in the next second, his pupils suddenly shrank. Puff! A mouthful of blood spurted out, and then his figure flew out and hit the wall. Ding! Your level has been promoted to Mysterious Heaven Realm 2 stars. When the system prompt came, it meant that Zhang Chu must be dead. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.